Thank you, Chris, and welcome to the newly remodeled Rutgers Stadium and all the color and pageantry of Thursday primetime as the Scarlet Knights look to slow down the Beast of the East. Under new boss Butch Davis, number 10, Miami has won its last 9 games, and the Canes have done it in pure South Beach style with an explosive offense featuring new faces and a dominating defense that likes to leave opponents black and blue. Tonight, Miami looks to continue its Big East dominance. Rutgers Stadium, and here come the Scarlet Knights. 1-1 on the season after beating Villanova and losing to Navy. Tonight, they'll face the biggest test of the Terry Shea era, number 10, Miami. We'll be back to Rutgers with the kickoff after this. For a Big East matchup between the Scarlet Knights and the Hurricanes of Miami. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Mike Gottfried. It's great to have you with us. Miami gets a couple of its suspended stars back tonight. Danielle Ferguson and Yatil Green. And Mike, this team is starting to build back to the talent level that produced 4 national championships in 13 years.
Mike, it's a loaded football team. 18 starters return. This is an outstanding team that could go for all the marbles before the season's over. They're led by quarterback Ryan Clement that finally feels like the quarterback position's his. He's beaten out Scott Covington. Even in his summer workout, he got on one of the wide receivers and told him, he said, you need to show up more, show a better work ethic, but he is in control of this ball team.
As always, it's a pleasure to have Dr. Jerry Punch with us on the sidelines. Let's check in with him right now.
Hey, thanks, Mike. You know, first-year Rutgers head coach Terry Shea came east, a disciple of Bill Walsh, and brought the West Coast offense with him. An offense that relies on crossing patterns and quick quarterback decisions. He has the crossing patterns. He's still waiting on the quarterbacks. He's tried 3. Sophomore Corey Ballantyne was the initial starter this year. Ballantyne trying the aggressive system, couldn't quite get it done. Then comes junior Ralph Sacca. Sacca had some success, but it was a senior, 5th-year senior that is, walk-on Mike Stevens, who finished both games against Villanova and Navy. Stevens will get his first start tonight for the Scarlet Knights. He's the best pure passer of the bunch. Maybe he can get the West Coast offense jump-started for Rutgers tonight. Mike?
All right, Jerry, and a jump start is exactly what they're going to need. The weather forecast has been threatening all day and all night, has not rained yet, only a 20% chance of showers. That would be good news for Miami. Rutgers would like to see a gully washer with this field.
Mike, a bad break for Rutgers. They need rain because a wet field neutralizes speed, and Miami definitely has a big advantage over Rutgers in the speed department.
And you will see what bad shape the field in as we go along. Terry Shea in his first year as Rutgers head coach. He brings in the West Coast offense and a new start for the program. Butch Davis has his team back in the top 10 in his second year as the head coach. His goal, the same level of success he helped to achieve as an assistant here.
Mike, I can only imagine what's going through the walk-on quarterback's mind. Mike Stevens, first game, national TV start.
He pronounces it George Gaitan. He will kick off to Steve Harper, the center deep man. A high, short kick. Harper comes up to take it at the 11-yard line. Gets a block and has a seam out near the 30. Now for the Everstart Battery starting lineup for the Rutgers offense. Jackie Crooks, the starting tailback for the injured Chad Bosch, but we expect to see 3 or more at that spot. Andy Holland off to a good start, averaging almost 18 yards a catch, a junior college transfer from California. Up front, Jack McKiernan moved from tackle to center. He is the only lineman who started for this club a year ago. Crooks and Demian, the running backs, behind Mike Stevens, the 5th-year walk-on. And fumble on the exchange first play. Rutgers may have fallen on it. Miami signals they have it. And they do. The Canes get the turnover on the first play.
Mike is talking about Mike Stevens, the quarterback, earlier. Just a walk-on to start his first game, and then you're on national television and you're playing against Miami to boot. He's got to be nervous. Trying to hand off the ball to Melvin Cobbs. He just mishandled. Tremaine Mack with the recovery.
Handed him the ball up around the level of his chin, and that is totally the quarterback's responsibility to make sure that running back gets the ball. McMillan is the single setback for Miami, and McMillan will get the carry. Hit as he got near the 31. Now the ball comes loose, picked up by Benton, and Benton down to the 10-yard line. Was that a pitch, or was that a great fake? I thought it was right up the middle.
Tackled by Thomas Kelly.
Gerald McMillan went over 100 yards in his first 2 starts. No Kane has had 3 in a row in over a decade. Magic Benton has lived up to his name in his first 2 career starts. 15 catches, 260 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Up front, the line anchored by senior K.C. Jones, 2-time All-Big East this season and All-American candidate. Miami with the ball just outside the 10. Straight up the middle, touchdown McMillan. Tyrell McMillan with a huge hole straight up the middle. Rutgers gets the turnover on the first play, and Miami makes them pay.
Well, the bad news for Rutgers is Danielle Ferguson hasn't even gotten in the ball game yet, and he's probably the best tailback. Tyrell McMillan. Seen making the steps on the sprint draw, now cutting back. K.C. Jones, 63, with a very good block. It looked like the linebackers just pursuing too quickly, and McMillan on the cutback.
Crossland with a point after, but he missed it wide left. What a start for the Canes. They score in 2 plays after the turnover and lead 6-0.
ESPN's presentation of college football is brought to you by the new Dodge. We're thinking ahead.
We've played 35 seconds. Miami kicked off, and they already lead 6-0. Might be that kind of night. It wasn't much of a scoring drive, but then it didn't have to be. McMillan took it in from about 10 yards out, only took 2 plays, 32 yards after the fumble on the first offensive play for Rutgers.
No problem. What did they do?
Gaitan to kick it away for the second time in 30 seconds. Once again, high and short. Harper, this time at the 7. Again, a good wedge forming in front of him, and Harper out near the 30-yard line. For Miami's defense, Kenny Holmes, the preseason all-conference choice. He's very strong with great speed. Linebacker Twan Russell, one of the fastest men on the team, has exceptional coverage skills. Tremaine Mack, the Canes' second leading tackler through 2 games, is also a tremendous player on special teams. So now Rutgers has to regroup immediately, and the butterflies must really be flying for Mike Stevens. Try to keep it on the ground, and nothing doing. James Burgess, the middle linebacker, just knifed through and crushed the ball carrier.
Mike, the toughest thing to do for Rutgers, or any team for that matter, it's going to play Miami, especially coming off Navy and Villanova, is to mimic the speed and practice of Miami. You can't do it, and I think early in this ball game, Rutgers is just amazed at how quick Miami is on both offense and defense.
And they are trying to go with their quickest backs right now. Damon Hamlin, number 20, is in there with Demian, the fullback. Harper and Holland are the wide receivers for Stevens. Instead, Hamlin cuts off the right side across the 35, maybe to the 36-yard line, picked up nearly 7. Stevens, really an amazing story if you want a Cinderella evening. Walked on to Tennessee, was the 3rd-team quarterback, didn't get a chance to get a scholarship there. Comes to Rutgers, plays on the scout team. Then he wanted to play baseball in the spring. So he and Doug Graber had a disagreement about that. He lost his scholarship, only played baseball, third baseman, great glove, and then comes back with a coaching change once he ends up as the starter.
Well, it's difficult to have a quarterback if he's not going to be in spring practice, especially when you try to implement a new offense.
3rd and about 3, and Stevens wants to throw for it. Has some protection now. It breaks down, and he is sacked. Holmes came in, the first man to get him. Kenny Holmes, a 4'6", 340, and very, very strong.
That's the first sack of Miami this season. Believe it or not, they played an option team, and of course Memphis, they didn't sack them. That's Kenny Holmes' first sack, and the first sack for this Miami defense for 1996.
Jared Sloven will punt to Magic Benton, who's number 1 in the Big East, averaging nearly 17 yards a return. He already has a touchdown. Nice high floater by Slovin. Benton signals fair catch, makes it just outside the 35. Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, it's the showdown between the Wolverines and the Buffaloes, headlining ABC Sports Regional College Football lineup. Number 11 Michigan travels to Boulder to face number 5 Colorado. Then number 14 BYU goes against Washington, or you'll see other regional action. Check your local listings for the game on your ABC station. Miami will start at the 36. Benton and Green are the split wide receivers. McMillan remains in at tailback. And Clement wants to throw. Pumps, throws deep, intended for Benton. Excellent coverage back there by Cameron Chadwick, and the corners, they're really going to try to work on them tonight with all that speed, Mike.
Well, and Mike, you invite that because you're playing an 8-man front. This is a wide tackle 6 defense, so you're going to be isolated on the outside. Chadwick, number 3, against Magic Benton, number 8, but the ball wasn't thrown very well. You want that ball to be kept outside to give the receiver a better chance for the reception.
Chambers checks in as one of the wide receivers. They go back to McMillan. He's shaking tacklers and brought down in the backfield. Good hustling job by the Rutgers defense. Rashad Swinger, their biggest, strongest man, made the tackle. And for that defense, he is the biggest man up front at 6'3", 290, and also Rutgers' strongest lineman. Taman Bryant at 6'3", the best athlete among the linebackers and the Scarlet Knights' leading tackler. Senior Derek Ward has been very consistent at corner. He also has great speed. He'll need it tonight. 3rd and 12 for Miami. They go to a 3 wide receiver set. There's an awful lot of speed on the outside. McMillan, the single set back behind Clement. 4-man rush, no pressure. Clement dumps it to McMillan. He ran into the official.
Got a little help from the umpire.
When they say the 12th man, that's not what they're usually thinking.
No, especially with stripes on his back. Tyrone McMillan's an outlet receiver, just ran into the umpire, and that happens. He's part of the game.
He
big
sure
break
was
for,
that time.
Big break for Rutgers.
Crossland will kick it away. Waiting back at the 26-yard line, Andy Holland, the wide receiver. Short kick, nobody can get to it. Takes a Miami bounce inside the 25-yard line, still rolling to the 21. No return after a punt of 45. So after the early turnover and the touchdown, the teams have exchanged punts. It's still 6-0 Miami. Terry Shea saw the worst possible thing happen to his ball club on its first possession, a fumble that resulted in a Miami touchdown and a 6-0 lead. Stevens leads them out. He's got Damon Hamlin as his running back. And Stevens wants to throw on first down. Dumps it over to Kenyon, the fullback, but it's knocked out of his hands, incomplete. And a nice coverage job by Tony Coley, the left side linebacker. As usual, Miami with extreme speed at its linebacking spot.
Yeah, I'm sure Terry Shea thinks he's in Canadian football with the speed that Miami has. He was in the Canadian Football League as a coach last year. But talking about his quarterback, Mike Stevens, he said he won the job on his athletic ability. Gives us the best chance to win. He's played musical chairs at quarterback. He plays 3.
5 plays on offense for Rutgers, 2 yards. Hamlin on the toss. Can't get outside, can't cut it back. Reached the line of scrimmage and no better as Kennard Lang, number 96, was waiting for him from his left end spot.
Well, Kennard Lang is a defensive end from Miami, and Miami's principles are defensively are built on getting people up the field. Here's not a very good block by the tight end, Jason Curry, and Kennard Lang just would not let that ball outside of him.
Lang, 11 sacks in his career. And now Rutgers in a spot it did not want to be in tonight, 3rd and 9. Bill Powell, number 80, checks in as a 3rd wide receiver, or excuse me, a 4th wide receiver, and seeing his first action of the year. Here comes the blitz. Stevens throws. Great grab by Harper. And a first down for the Scarlet Knights.
And they needed something good to happen for Mike Stevens. The confidence builds a little bit now. But Steve Harper's the type of receiver. He's a 4'3", 40 receiver. Changed his jersey this year from 12 to 82 because Terry Shea wants all the receivers in the 80s. Good throw against blitz coverage. Steve Harper with a good route. Dwayne Starks giving him a little bit of a cushion over there on the short side of the field.
Harper, a preseason all-conference choice. Stevens to throw again. This time a four-man rush. Good protection. This tipped over the middle by middle linebacker James Burgess, intended for Curry.
This game, Mike, sets up like the one we had last week, Vanderbilt, Notre Dame. Really, if Rutgers is to have any chance tonight, the offense can't turn it over like they did already, and they can't do it again. And the defense really has to play lights out and try to get Miami in a guessing game with that 8-man front.
Second and 10. And Stevens has hit only the one pass to Harper. Harper and Holland are the wideouts. On second and 10, Hamlin the deep man in the eye, and Hamlin will get the carry. And Miami came with a run blitz and nothing doing. Burgess again, very, very active. Missed the first game. He was involved in an incident in Miami where a track athlete was assaulted. Served a one-game suspension, and this guy will make tackles by the ton.
Well, he read it right from the start, Mike. He's reading the fullback, this center guard to the fullback, and he knew it was going to be a inside run, and James Burgess stepped up and made the tackle. Rutgers going to have to find a way to slow this rush down, either a screen or some kind of misdirection play.
The quick pass hits the receiver, Harper, right on the helmet, and ricochets away, incomplete. And Rutgers will have to punt it away.
Well, what Miami will figure out here real soon is that they match up real well after a couple series with those wide receivers, and they'll start tightening up the cushion a little bit, and there won't be those outs, but it'll be tough for those wide receivers of Rutgers getting rid of Dwayne Starks, Mack, Wimberly, and Little, because they're all outstanding defensive backs.
Sloven, whose first punt was 36 yards, will kick to Benton. Very high. Benton comes up, lost the football. Rutgers has it at the Miami 41. You were talking about breaks, things that had to happen to give us a replay of what we had last week with Notre Dame and Vanderbilt.
And now they're going to give it back to Miami, Mike. But Magic Benton dropped the last punt just before the team went in the locker room, before the game started, so he may be having trouble with these lights.
The only thing they could possibly say is that he didn't touch it.
Let's see if he makes the fair catch signal. Close. I can't tell whether he did touch it or not. Dak Strohmeyer recovered the football, but
he touched it. You could see the ball change its angle. What a terrible break for Rutgers. They had a chance to get the ball to Miami 41-yard line.
Daniel Ferguson in the ball game, Mike.
For the first time, had such a great year a year ago. He gets the ball on the draw, and he's gang tackled. The first guy there, Taman Bryant, number 29. The leading tackler on the ball club through 2 games.
Talented running back, Danielle Ferguson. Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator, said he's secretariat. He's got all the package. He's a strong runner, catches the ball excellent out of the backfield, blocks, and he can do it all. And he's replacing Dyrell McMillan, who's had 2 straight 100-yard games.
He's been brilliant. Nick Williams, the fullback, he's number 30. Running straight back to throw. Excellent protection. Dumps it out for Ferguson. Ferguson to the 46-yard line. Give him a gain of about 5 yards. But Rutgers' defense so far has played pretty well.
They really have. And again, they're a gambling-style defense. Gil Ross made that last tackle, but they are really in a guessing game. Rod Sharpless is outmanned in this performance tonight. He's the defensive coordinator. He has to keep changing his defenses to try to confuse the Miami offense. There's Rod Sharpless, Virginia Tech staff last year, and
did a great job down there, and is gambling on what his club can do tonight. 3rd and 4. They show blitz and drop out of it. Clement floats it to the sideline, and it's caught inbounds. Nice grab by Green. And it looked like Peter Clark, the defender, trying to shove him out of bounds. Couldn't quite get it done. It was Clark.
Another big receiver, Yateel Green, 6'2", about 212 pounds. Back tonight for his first ball game for the Hurricanes. And Ryan Clement went right to his junior receiver. Right in front of Peter Clark, number 9, for the first down.
Joseph and Ferguson, the backs. Clement wants to throw on first down. Again, he airs it out, intended for Green. And once again, excellent coverage. Derek Ward right there. Let's go to Jerry Punch. Doctor?
You guys are talking about Rutgers defensive coordinator Rod Sharpless. A moment ago, he was preaching to his young secondary, particularly his linebackers, and saying, you know, we have got to make sure we take care of assignment football. He's concerned, Mike, about him overrunning the football. He said Miami's experienced backfield, they'll cut it back and kill us. We cannot overrun the football, particularly on the sweeps and the off-tackle plays. We got to stay in our lanes and play assignment.
And Jerry, that's exactly what happened on the first touchdown. They just overran the play, and McMillan took it back inside against the green for the touchdown.
2nd and 10. Ferguson is the only setback. Green in the flat, lost his balance and went down. That's how this field can play in this game.
Oh, this field's in terrible shape, and when you look at it, and this is without any rain, so if we'd have had rain, it'd have been a skating rink here. Magic Benton, this is how you negate speed. The field, poor. Magic Benton made that catch and had some running room. Norris Crawford on the tackle, but this field's in bad shape.
That'll bring up a 3rd and 7.
The middle of the field's in good shape, but the side with the hash to the sideline on both sides in terrible condition.
3 wideouts on 3rd and long. Clement with a lot of time. Rolls and throws deep. Green end zone. Can't hold it. Knocked away by Thomas Kelly and Gil Ross. Intended for Benton. Looked like he had a step early, but the 2 guys caught up.
Yeah, anytime you throw a long pass and you have to let it in the air that long, Magic Benton's open right now getting the football. But you see how much further he runs. Now the ball's in the air. Rutgers, Gil Ross and Thomas Kelly make an adjustment, knock the ball away.
Crossland to punt. Holland lets it go, and it just rolls into the end zone. So 6:18 to go, first quarter. And when we come back, Rutgers will have the football, trailing Miami 6-0.
Need credit to buy a car or truck? Call 1-800-400-3645 now. Don Reed Ford has fast, easy credit for people who have credit problems. If divorce, student loans, medical bills, or even bankruptcy has damaged your credit, call 1-800-400-3645 now and get the credit and respect you deserve. Call Don Reed Ford now. 1-800-400-3645.
Thursday. In his line of work, you gotta be quick and ready for anything. There's no time to think twice, because one wrong move and you've lost your client forever. This time, something does go wrong. Now, on the twisted trail of justice, he's finding the FBI, the CIA, and a vicious terrorist group all have something to hide. But he'll go the distance in this action-packed story of betrayal, sabotage.
The time will be 7:30 p.m. On Monday nights, your NFL action starts at 7:30. Because between what happens on Sunday and what's coming up Monday night, there's plenty to talk about.
The time will be 7:30.
Join Mike Tirico and Sterling Sharp as they take you deep inside the NFL. Analysis, perspective, experience. It's time to catch NFL Prime Monday. Monday nights on ESPN at 7:30.
After the touchback, Rutgers will take over on its own 20-yard line. Miami leading at 6-0 after the fumble on the first play from scrimmage. Mike, the field's already been a factor.
It's torn up. Magic bent and slipped. You got to try to keep the ball in the middle of the field. If you notice, the middle of the field is really in great shape. But the hashes to the sideline, they're going to lose their footing all evening. Now, could be a break. A defensive back could slip and fall, and so you could get a long pass in this situation.
Rutgers so far only 15 yards of total offense, while Miami has racked up 45. Rutgers shifting its formation. Hamlin the halfback. Stevens wants to throw on first down. Good protection this time, and throws the out intended for his tight end Jason Curry, and Curry well covered, and the pass incomplete. That time the line gave him good protection, but Starks was right there on the coverage.
Well, good pass protection. Kerry Ware, 77, working against Kenny Holmes, the defensive end, and then he gets help from the running back, Damon Hamlin. So they're double teaming Kenny Holmes to try to keep him off Mike Stevens.
Stevens only 1 out of 5 for 11 yards so far.
And Mike, they've got to complete passes, because if they don't, the clock's going to keep stopping, and they're going to keep giving Miami opportunities. Eventually, they're going to cash in.
Nice idea to throw on first down, though. Walter King is in as an extra receiver. Stevens wrapped up and thrown to the ground by Kennard Lang. They're saying the ball was down before it came loose. So Lang gets another sack, his second. Or his first. Holmes had the other.
There's a challenge to this defensive line, because Kenny Holmes said we're probably the weakest part of the defense last year. Kennard Lang being held again by T.J. Spizzo, number 78. He makes the play. But when you think of Cortez Kennedy, Jerome Brown, Russell Maryland, I mean, those folks would disrupt the football game in the offensive line. And this defensive line of Holmes, Lang, Fortney, and Lawson have to have that challenge.
And that was more of a coverage sack, too. Spizzo did a pretty nice job on his initial production. Here Stevens wants to run. No place to hide. Goes down at the 23, and here's a late hit by Burgess. He will give Rutgers a new series of downs, and really a silly play by the middle linebacker who has played so well until this point.
Well, the mistake they made, almost dropping the punt, whether they touched it or not, now giving them another first down here. James Burgess not under control. Mike Stevens can't make the first down. There's the tackle. Now here comes number 54, James Burgess, just late.
Personal foul on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That is real late.
That is late. Terry Monk, our referee tonight, I believe he's having a birthday, 60 years old here in the next day or so. James Burgess, number 54, just no reason to do this. You got Mike Stevens stopped. They're going to punt the football, and all of a sudden, here comes a late train. James Burgess for the penalty.
So Rutgers has a first down at its own 38-yard line. Stevens on the draw to Hamlin. He's their quickest back. And Hamlin first out to the 45-yard line before Coley gets him. It's a gain of 7.
Well, Terry Shea talked about Bill Walsh's influence. He worked for him at Stanford. And, of course, I think Bill Walsh is the best in the business. And Bill Walsh taught him how to play, how to do play calling and how to put a system in. And he's going to need everything Bill Walsh taught him tonight to try to keep this Miami defense off balance. And that was a nice play call on the draw.
Great systems or not, you still need players to implement.
You still need players, but they've got the Bill Walsh system is one of the best.
Hamlin on the toss, tries to cut it back, gets a couple out to the 49-yard line, and may have a first down. Twan Russell makes the stop.
Talking about systems, this is both of the systems that we're seeing tonight, the Bill Walsh style of offense and the Miami style of defense is pretty well what's captivating college football. Mostly everybody is doing the same thing anymore, especially on defense. Nebraska has taken them to the next level a little bit, the 4-3 defense and some of the things they're doing.
First down at the 49. We've reached the 4-minute mark first quarter. Rutgers will go with 3 wide receivers on first down. Stevens throws incomplete, intended for Harper and covered like a blanket. Starks was right there. Tremaine Mack also in the vicinity.
Well, Starks redshirted last year. He's a junior college transfer. He can do it all. And the coaches, Bill Miller, defensive coordinator, says he's an NFL-type corner that they're looking for. He's good speed. He's 5'10", 168, cover you like a blanket.
Another one of those guys that runs a 4.3 40. And it's the one thing you can't teach is that speed.
No, there's no substitute for speed.
Stevens has completed only the 1 pass. Hamlin, nice spin move on the delay and gets it to the Miami 45-yard line.
Looked like Burgess missed him. Had a chance for him early on that play and just missed him. I think he underestimated the speed of Damon Hamlin in the little turn, little swing.
Hamlin, a senior out of Wild Lake, Maryland.
Burgess, number 54, left corner of our screen. You see him, he reads the play. He's right there to make the tackle. Just misses the tackle. Should have been a 2-yard gain.
It is a gain of 6 instead, 3rd and 4. And they'll go with 2 tight ends. Rutgers has converted only 1 third down opportunity. Stevens to throw, has time, throws it up, and it's incomplete. Too high, intended for Bill Powell, his first game back after off-season ankle surgery.
Even with the penalty, this is still a good sign for Rutgers, because now you win the field position war again. You punt the ball to Miami and try to pin him down, barring an unforeseen return. But Terry Shea has to like the way his offense is moving. He's got the draw play going. Just Mike Stevens has to hit a couple of those passes.
Sloven to kick to Benton, who waits at his 10. Headed toward the goal line and didn't get the bounce. ESPN2 has the best in college football. Saturday at 12:30, the 15th-ranked Auburn Tigers head to Mississippi. Then at 6, Vanderbilt in a defensive battle with number 13, Alabama. At 9, the 24th-ranked Kansas Jayhawks travel to TCU. .256 to go first quarter. We are at Rutgers in their wonderful facility built only 3 years ago. Ferguson in at running back on first down from the 20. Clement with plenty of time. Benton makes the catch. Brought down at the 35 by Cameron Chadwick, gain of 15.
Here's why Miami's throwing on first down with Ryan Clement, because you look at the defense of Rutgers. They're saying to Miami tonight, you're not going to run the football. When you look at this, there's 8 people in the box. That means there's only 2 corners and a safety out with your wide receivers. They bring Magic Benton in motion against Cameron Chadwick. He's across the middle. Now it's a run defense on first down, and you've got people running free. Magic Benton with a catch.
Ferguson gains maybe 4. Let's check in with Jerry Punch. Doctor?
Coach, exactly what you said a moment ago. During the change of possession a moment ago, the coaches were talking to Ryan Clement. They told him, said, look, they've got 8, sometimes 9 guys in the box. They're doubling Magic Benton. So what I'm going to do, these other 2 guys here on the wide are wide open, our receivers. He told both the receivers, if you're open, you're on single coverage, break it deep. He told Clement, just put it up there, and one of our guys will run under it.
The way, Jerry, that Rutgers is playing, and they have to play away, they're going to get, Miami's going to get a big pass play. It's just a matter of time.
Green and Chambers both to the near side. Ferguson hitting the backfield and brought down. The Rutgers defense comes up big again. Chris Sabula, the first man there. And the tackle made by Taman Bryant. There's Sabula. He's a senior from Manville, New Jersey, the right defensive end.
Again, you look, here they are, the 8 people up again, trying to stop the run. They just got extra people that can block. It's a good call by Rock Sharples. He's outmanned. He's in a guessing game tonight. He's outmanned. He's got to try everything he can do to slow down the Miami running game and hope his pass defense holds up.
3rd and 7. Clement, the quick out to Benton. And Benton driven out of bounds at the 47-yard line. That'll be a first down. Norris Crawford, who was the combination linebacker and strong safety, made the tackle.
You know, it's interesting, Mike, when you take a player like Norris Crawford. He's an outside linebacker, and he's playing at 5'10", 185. But really, their outside linebackers are like defensive backs in this scheme of things. Makes the play on Magic Benton.
Benton, 3 catches, 27 yards so far. Named after the Magic City nightclub, long gone now in Miami.
Yeah, he should be called long gone because it's out of business.
Clement again on first down. This time he'll go to his tight end, Gerald Daphnis, the senior out of Miami, for a short game. And Miami starting to spread the football around a little bit.
What they're trying to do now is just throw the little short passes, because even with the 8 people up front, they can have the 4-man rush on either side. And there's one side that you can't defend. So Ryan Clement, again, using his ability to make decisions. He's completely in charge, making the right moves, making the right calls for Butch Davis.
6 out of 10, 44 yards for Clement. So with 2 tight ends on 2nd and 4. That's Daphnis, who is actually a wingback on this set. Ferguson dives forward to the Rutgers 45, couple of yards shy of a first down. Rashad Swinger had him around the knees. Ferguson so far only 4 carries, 6 yards.
Larry Coker, who's the offensive coordinator, used to coach at Oklahoma State, and he had Thurman Thomas, and he said Danielle Ferguson reminds him a lot of Thurman Thomas, but he said he's bigger and faster than Thurman, but Thurman's a better pass receiver.
Number 5 all-time on Miami's rushing list coming into this year. And that's the end of the first quarter. Miami scored in the first 30 seconds, still only leading 6-0. Second quarter in Piscataway, New Jersey, with Miami on top of Rutgers, 6-0. Not exactly the kind of game that Canes fans were looking for. The only score of the game in the first quarter came as the result of that one Rutgers turnover on their first offensive play. Yes, Miami is outgaining Rutgers 80-35, but not the disparity you might imagine.
No, I agree. I think the turnover has been the big difference in the first quarter. Stevens has to get off the mark a little bit. That 1 for 7 for 11 yards. He's got to be able to keep the chains moving.
That turnover and the one turnover that we thought occurred that they ruled against on the punt. 2 tight ends on 3rd and 2. Ferguson, the single setback. And they'll try to get Ferguson with the first down. He's hit twice, 3 times, and dropped at the line of scrimmage. They are selling out against the run, Mike, and so far it's worked.
Well, there's no doubt. Again, Rod Sharpless with a good defensive call. Thomas Kelly was scraping outside as a linebacker, and there was no one to block him. You got a one-back attack there. Danielle Ferguson just couldn't get the first down.
Crossland to punt to Holland on 4th and 2.
Andy Holland is deep for Rutgers.
Holland signals fair catch, lets it go, and it bounces out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. So Rutgers will have lousy field position again with 14-12 to go first half. Miami, number 10 in the country, leads it 6-0. State.
ESPN's presentation of college football is brought to you by American Honda, celebrating their 25th anniversary of selling cars in America.
Maybe 25,000 on hand here tonight, and they are getting their money's worth so far as their Scarlet Knights down by only 6 to the number 10 team in the country with 14-12 to go in the second quarter of play. Mike Patrick, Mike Godfrey, Jerry Punch, our entire ESPN crew with you. And Rutgers comes out with 4 wide receivers. And Stevens to throw on first down, gets it outside, complete to Bill Powell. Pretty gutsy call on first down inside your own 10.
Well, you have to throw because you're going to have trouble running against this Miami defense. And the best throws are the 3-step drops and throw the football. And you can hope for a defensive back maybe to slip a little bit. Quick throw by Mike Stevens out to Bill Powell, number 80. Trying to turn up, but you see he slips a little bit. Again, the field is such a factor in this ball game.
The last 2 games of last season, Howell caught 14 passes for nearly 200 yards. A long strider who can really make a difference. 2nd and 3. Hamlin got a nice block. Cut it back, but boy, Miami closes in a hurry. Twan Russell, who has 4.4 speed as a linebacker, they compare him to Darren Smith. I mean, he's there in a heartbeat.
Well, he's their defensive playmaker and leader.
Looked like they had an easy first down. And as it turned out, they just eked one out.
Both these teams coming off the game Saturday. Short week of practice.
Who does that benefit?
I think it benefits Rutgers because Miami didn't have a long time to prepare against their offense or the 8-man front defense.
Stevens wants to throw again. A lot of time now. Holmes from behind. Lost him. Got him again. Sacked back at the 10. Holmes gets a piece of his 2nd sack and 3 for the Hurricanes, who had none in their first 2 games.
Well, he talked about coming out last year, Kenny Holmes, but he stayed in school, and I think he made a wise choice because now he's an NFL-type player. Coming off the corner against a guard. Now, that's Ben French, who has to move over to the left tackle spot because of the injury to Donnelly. So that's an area, the guy who's blocking on Kenny Holmes is a guard because of an injury they've had to tackle.
But, Mike, once again, that looked like a coverage sack. Stevens cannot hold the ball for that long.
No, there's nothing open. Again, little short routes. The linebackers are sitting on them, and the corners are sitting on the wide receivers.
A loss of 9, 2nd and 19. They go with 4 wide receivers. Back to the short passing game. That one was tipped. Tony Coley got a hand on it, and it was nearly intercepted after that.
Tony Coley, of course, we all know the story about him, pre-med major, and he was in a class applied physics book. He was reading it one night, 12 o'clock till 2 a.m. in the morning, and he said he found a mistake, and he went up to the teacher, Dr. Pardo, and he said, I think the book has to be wrong. Now, I've challenged a lot of books, too, but they weren't wrong. And he said, Mr. Coley, I believe you're right after studying a little bit. So he found an error in the book.
And they called not just any book either,
no,
a physics book. And they called the publishing company, and they changed the book.
I'd make sure my playbook's well written.
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to check it over.
3rd and 18. Stevens wants to go to the screen, and there is Twan Russell right in the face of Hamlin after he made the catch and dumped him. If you do anything against Miami that lets them to use their speed, you're in trouble.
Mike, and I'll tell you, keep your eye on Tremaine Mack now, number 3. He's right in here. That's Tremaine Mack. He's blocked kicks. He's a specialist at it. Let's see if he goes after it.
Here comes the pressure. And a nice kick by Slobin. Benton backs all the way back up to his 44-yard line. He stumbled, lost the football. Let's see if it was down. It was. Miami football. So the 2nd time on a punt that Rutgers thought they had a crack at it, and Miami comes out with it.
I think he was down. Magic Benton was down on that play. Tried to hit the middle of the field where the best footing is on this football field. Just dropped the ball after he hit the ground. Working up the middle of the field. That's the best footing. No, that ball was out before
it sure was. That ball came loose. So for the 2nd time, Rutgers appears to get a turnover near midfield and doesn't get the football.
I think that now that Ryan Clement has to come out and take control of this game. You got great field position to throw the football now against this 8-man front. Let's see if they go throw the football and Ryan Clement has some success.
Wants to throw on 1st down. Wants to go deep again. Throws deep. Players collide. I think they're going to call it incidental, and they do. Boy, the Rutgers coaches are going to be sick when they look at the films on those special teams plays that could have turned this around.
Oh, there's no doubt. Again, in the short side of the field, Yatil Green, number 87, against Norris Crawford. No, we're going to go back to the punt. You're right, Mike. It's out. Looks out to me before he hits the ground. And Rutgers needs those kind of breaks because they're undermanned here tonight.
Nick Williams, number 30, checks in with Ferguson in the backfield on 2nd and 10. Ferguson cuts off the right side against that 8-man front and will pick up nearly 5 yards. Here's what Miami did in the first half with its possessions. First time after the turnover, 32 yards and a touchdown. They only had one other drive that lasted more than 5 plays and picked up more than 14 yards.
They have really been out of sync, but you have to credit Rutgers defense for guessing with them. And now this is a tough part. Third down, whether they can get the ball to Teal Green or Magic Benton, because they're coming in with 3 wide receivers.
And Rod Sharp was trying to get his defense to call a timeout, and they finally see him before Miami can snap the football. He saw something he didn't like at all.
We saw Teal Green and Magic Benton on the field at the same time.
That'll scare you to death anyway. 3rd and 6. We've got a timeout. Back in a moment. 6-0. Miami over Rutgers, and providing tonight's shots from overhead, the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes. Goodyear Blimps now in their 4th decade in their coverage of live sporting events. And we've got a live one here tonight with Miami leading Rutgers by only 6-0. Miami a prohibitive favorite coming in. 3rd and 6.
And Teal Green should get some coverage where he's one-on-one, and so should Magic Benton, number 8.
Rutgers shows blitz and then drops out of it. Clement the time, throws over the middle, and it's knocked away. Great defensive play by Thomas Kelly, who got a hand in. The ball was intended for Benton.
Well, once they saw that formation, Rod Sharpless wanted another defensive back in the lineup, so that timeout was spent wisely because they were able to stop the Miami defense, or the offense.
Sensational job of defense, and we have seen it 2 weeks in a row from underdog teams. Last week, Vanderbilt. This week, Rutgers.
And they said, Rod Sharpless, in talking to him yesterday, talked to his team about the effort that Vanderbilt gave against Notre Dame. So they're using that as a rallying cry.
Crossland to punt to Holland. Punted well so far, averaging over 42 yards a kick. He'll try to pooch this one down inside the 10, the way he did the last time. End over end. Holland signals fair catch. He'll make it just outside the 10. Let's go to Dr. Jerry Ponch. Doctor?
Hey, guys, Rutgers head coach Terry Shea has a master's in psychology. He knows that attitude is so important. That's why you'd see that sign right there. Absolute loyalty everywhere around here. In the locker room, on the tunnel leading to the field. He knows that attitude, that frame of mind is so important. Hey, in about an hour before the game, talking about psychology, take a look. The Rutgers Scarlet Knight sign appeared on this wall magically in Latin. In hoc signe densis means under this sign we conquer.
See, I'm glad Jerry did that, because we're down there reading Latin. I don't remember mine that well.
No, I had Latin in high school and I had a very good teacher, but I don't remember a thing.
Holland and Powell are the wide receivers. Stevens being chased and unloads. And once again, the speed of the Miami linebackers, that was Twan Russell getting out there to get a hand on it.
That was very good coverage by Twan Russell, because he stayed right with the receiver. Speed is his attribute. Defensive coach Bill Miller says the best open field athlete we have. That's saying a lot. Good coverage as Mike Stevens gets flushed out to the right. You see Twan Russell, number 45, getting that hand in there against Andy Holland, number 81.
And Holland, a wide receiver, you cover him with a linebacker, he does the job. That's what 4-4 speed will do. 2nd and 10 for the Scarlet Knights from their own 11. Hamlin on the delay. Spun out of one tackle into another up to the 16-yard line.
That's been their best play, Mike. And Kenny Holmes was saying, and this is their philosophy at Miami, and they asked him about what he thought Rutgers' game plan would be. He said, I think they'll come out and try to run the ball. When they find they can't run the ball, then they're going to try to pass. Just like every other team, when they can't pass, they'll go back to the run and back and forth and back and forth. But Rutgers has a different plan. They're trying a little short passing game and then trying to mix in the draw a little bit, just trying to get some success so they can move the chains.
They've done pretty well with that 4 wide receiver set so far. Hamlin, 9 carries, 34 yards. Did not have a carry coming into this game in the first 2. He's in there because of his quickness. This one's complete over the middle. First down to Curry. Nice throw by Stevens, who really saw an opening and gunned that one in there.
And I think he's settled down now. I think Mike Stevens, the quarterback, has settled down a little bit. He went to a game last year, only 1 game, and just said he couldn't watch it anymore. Here's a tight end. Curry just going to run a little out route against the linebacker. James Burgess, number 54, covering. Mike Stevens finds it, delivers it. Quick pass again, because that negates the pass rush for Terry Shea. That frustrates defensive linemen when they 3-step and get rid of the football.
Stevens now 4 out of 12. Hamlin coming from the wing this time. Crosses the 25 near the 26-yard line. Give him a gain of about 3.
Sometimes you call a play to send a message. You try to slow down the flow of the linebackers. Their linebackers, Miami linebackers, run so well. You run a play like that, a misdirection play, just to slow them down a little bit. Maybe you don't gain a lot of yardage, but it gets a point across. It may help you in doing something else a little later in the game. Good call by Terry Shea. I like his game plan. I like what he's trying to do on offense.
2nd and 7 for Rutgers. Demian, the only setback. He's the fullback. Hasn't carried yet. Out into the flat, complete up near the 30-yard line to Andy Holland. We invite you to spend Sundays with Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, Joe Theismann, Sterling Sharp, and Chris Mortensen. They're on NFL Countdown. It's the best pregame show on television. Brings you right up to date, up to kickoff, with 90 minutes of interviews, analysis, the latest NFL news, and lots more. That's Sunday at 11:30 Eastern on ESPN, 8:30 on the coast.
In this offense, Mike, the backs have to be good receivers. So if you're in a third and short situation, let's keep our eye on both running backs. Damon Hamlin, number 20.
Hamlin's on the wing to the near side. Stevens, little bootleg. Throws behind Demian, but he makes the catch before he is buried by Tremaine Mack. Solid tackle, but it's a gain of 8 and another first down for the Scarlet Knights.
Another misdirection. I just talked about the running backs have to have good hands in this offense because you're going to throw the ball. But this is a nice design play. It's going to be a fake up in here, and this back right here, Hamlin, is going to go right to the flat. Misdirection play. Now here's the fake to the running back. Mark Demian goes inside. Now just wait. Mike Stevens just waits for him to clear for the first down. Nice design play. Bill Walsh play all the way.
Split the backs. Give it to Hamlin. Hamlin out to the 39-yard line. Trying to follow the block. Twan Russell made the tackle.
This is the point I was trying to make earlier about you need completions. Mike Stevens needs to complete the little short passes and keep the chains moving and run the clock. We're down to 6:58 in this second quarter. Miami offense is sitting on the sideline, the big play offense. So Terry Shea is accomplishing exactly what he wants.
Rutgers started at its own 11-yard line. They're taking more than 3.5 minutes off the clock. Got a couple of first downs. We're out near their own 40. Stevens trying to run. Holmes had him, lost him. Now Lang, he couldn't get him. And Stevens will keep it across the 40 to the 43-yard line.
Mike Stevens.
Nice decision that time for Stevens. And Mike, I think you're absolutely right. He is starting to get a feel for the game. You can imagine what he felt like coming in here. Got to be so nervous with his first career start against Miami. First handoff hits a running back in the throat.
Well, he was a third baseman. He played the hot corner, but this is hot tonight now. And Kenny Holmes and Kennard Lang are making it hot for him on the outside with a rush, but they can't stand up. They're having trouble rushing from the hashes, and Mike Stevens just sits it down, big gain for about 7 yards.
Spot the ball at the 43, 3rd and 5. They need to make just about the 38-yard line, or the 48, excuse me. Play action by Stevens. And Hamlin can't hold it in front of Russell at the 49-yard line.
He missed one here. He had Damon Hamlin open for the first down. He's going to go to the sideline, and Terry Shea's going to tell him, you missed one there. Damon Hamlin, number 20, is going to come out in the bag again, and a little fake, and then he's going to roll, and the pass should have been thrown right here. There's the fake. Now look at number 20 is open in the flat for the first down. He just didn't see him. And that, again, you've got a fifth-year guy, you've got a new coach, a new offense. He only will play 3 days in the spring. Tough for him.
Slovan got a low snap, then kicks a high sailor to Benton. Benton will make the fair catch at the 15-yard line. So Rutgers offense at least got it out of the shadow of its own goal line. Then they get a good punt, and Miami is backed up deep in its own territory.
FLIC Auto Centers wants to put you in the driver's seat of your next car, truck, or van. We have hundreds of top-quality, late-model, and low-mileage pre-owned vehicles, many still under warranty. Drive one home today for just $199 down. Excellent financing is available and injured credit is no problem. Come see Central Florida's #1 liquidator of thousands of pre-owned cars, trucks, and vans. FLIC Auto Centers, 1 mile east of 436 on Colonial.
People are either radiators or drains, and I radiate my sunshine on everybody.
You are looking good, baby.
In fact, I get them to thank me for taking their money.
Wow.
The Saturns caught my eye from the first one I saw.
How do you like your Saturn? Keep your shirt on. I'm looking at the car.
People would be screaming and honking.
This is gorgeous.
Get back in your boat.
How about a look under the hood?
I must have talked to at least 2,000-3,000 different Saturn owners. Every single one of them absolutely loved their car.
In the middle of the night, many of us search for answers to life's questions. Is there a God? Am I loved? Why was I created? Did the Yankees beat the Twins? ESPN News Network, the 24-hour sports news network from ESPN. Who else?
6-0 Canes, and throughout the college football season, American Honda will recognize outstanding students for their athletic and scholastic achievements. The winner of this week's Honda Scholar Athlete Award, Ron Heller, the tight end from Rutgers. Heller, a fifth-year senior majoring in biological science with a 3.61 GPA. And Honda is proud to donate $3,000 to Rutgers General Scholarship Fund on behalf of Ron Heller. Dyrell McMillan, and there is Heller. Dyrell McMillan is back in at tailback for Miami. And they want to throw on first down, get a completion out to about the 23-yard line. And look at that. Count the scarlet shirts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in on the tackle of Magic Benton.
The sideline from the hash to the sideline, it's taken away some of the moves of a Magic Benton or Uteal Green, but I look for Miami to come out, establish the quick passing game, and try to go deep to Uteal Green or Magic Benton. They can't run against Rutgers because they got too many people in there until they open up this passing game.
Benton has 4 catches for 35 yards so far, but Rutgers has done a great job preventing the deep ball. They tried 3 times with no success. McMillan on the delay across the 29 to about the 30-yard line.
Here's the field tonight, what I was talking about. The nice area right here down the middle from this area is nice. It looks like Bill Murray and Caddyshack put this in over here because it's just tearing up, and again, the receivers can't get any footing.
First down for Miami with 4:25 on the turn clock. Wanted to throw again on first down, goes out to Uteal Green. And Green across the 40. For more on the field is Jerry Punch.
Guys, the problem with the field was this. When they tried to find a field that would drain, they used the sand beneath the base of the turf that drained very, very well. The problem was the sand packed so tightly the roots couldn't penetrate, so the grass has no root structure. That's why when you lean on the grass to try to cut, the grass comes up in giant. We're talking dinosaur-sized divots. Now, they replaced the middle of the field you talked about, Coach, after June, after the New Jersey High School All-Star game. But the sides of the field, well, you see what the footing is. It's pretty ugly.
Be interesting in what shoes they're wearing tonight. The Rutgers has to know what they're up against.
And that is without rain also. McMillan stumbled, lost his footing. Let's go back to Jerry.
Mike, let me show you what shoes are talking about. Now, ordinarily on a field like this, a lot of teams would wear a molded cleat like this. And Miami actually came here for a walkthrough. How important are walkthroughs, coaches? Miami came in last night with their Nike shoes. Now, Adidas is what Rutgers uses. And they had molded cleats. They found out in the walkthrough that none of their players could even stand up. That's why they're all now wearing a half-inch detachable cleat. Adidas on this side, Nike on the opposite. Mike?
All right, thank you, Jerry. 2nd and 9. Clement back to throw. He's had good protection. He's looking deep again. He's got Benton out there this time as the defender slipped and fell. And Benton is inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Cameron Chadwick was running with him, and the footing really put him in a bad spot.
Well, in the Tennessee game against UCLA the other night, Peyton Manning hit Joey Kent on a hitch and go, and that's exactly what this is. Magic Benton's going to run a hitch, a little fake. Number 3, Cameron Chadwick just can't come out. You see, he slips. He's having trouble with the turf. He had it covered. He just slipped and couldn't stay up with Magic Benton, and that's the big pass play that Miami's been looking for. But again, the turf hurt Cameron Chadwick, number 3.
And Chadwick is the player who is down for Rutgers. And he may have pulled a hamstring or groin on that play.
Watch Chadwick here. He's trying to catch up. Make the play. Slips. Divots come out again. Makes the tackle on Magic Benton. I don't see where he's injured on that play. But when you play a gambling style defense, 8-man front, you've got one corner. In some coverages, it's going to be one-on-one. It was Chadwick against Benton.
And that is the first time Miami has been able to hit the deep ball tonight. And as you saw, Chadwick had it covered pretty well. He just lost his footing.
Yeah, he just couldn't stand up on that short side of the field. Magic Benton having a good night tonight. He was told to raise his grades or he'd be gone, and he missed spring practice so he could study, work on his grades.
The whole Miami team has done a great job raising its grade point average this year. Something they're very proud of. Cameron Chadwick coming off. And the one thing Rutgers does not have, Mike, is depth.
No depth. And right away, Peter Clark comes into the game. Now, I'm sure Miami may try to run and try to knock him off the ball here with 2 tight ends. But you can know one thing. They know Peter Clark's on the field, number 9. They're going to find out how good he is.
There's Clark, the sophomore, 5'9", 170 pounds.
I think this Miami team kind of snuck up on this season. They had so many suspensions, and everybody said, well, they can't be any good. You know, they've lost all these guys. Jamie German, all these guys are suspended. It's a pretty good football team. It's going to probably go to Florida State or play home to Florida State undefeated.
Clement, 3 out of 3 for 70 yards on this drive. McMillan is the tailback. He'll get the ball. Trying to get outside. Hit for the second time. Goes down at the 5-yard line. Thomas Kelly gets the initial stop.
It's a lot of folks to run against. Rod Sharpless making those defensive calls. Here's the give to McMillan, number 28, but you can see Norris Crawford and help from Thomas Kelly. Play action pass down. Here's a possibility. A run fake. Try to get the ball up to Magic Johnson. Magic Benton. You got him against Peter Clark out there, number 9, one-on-one.
McMillan goes in motion. Clement looks this way. The ball's not close. Rutgers has it out at the 21-yard line. Holy cow. Chris Sabula with the recovery. The first official Miami turnover.
When you play against this defense, you've got quarterbacks responsible for the blitz to one side. Kamen Bryan, number 29. Ryan Clement just didn't read that coverage and didn't read the blitz. Number 29, Bryant's going to come in. It's just one extra man and you can block. He causes the fumble, and that's why you like this defense, because it turns it out. It's a turnover defense.
If you could give bonuses to assistant coaches, Rod Sharpless is in line for one tonight.
Well, he's got the Woody Woodenhofer Award tonight.
Absolutely.
The defensive coordinator on both sides so far.
2:40 to go in the half. Stevens short pump fake. Now he wants to go deep and just throws this one downfield. And begging for an interference call is Walter King, but there's no way he's going to get it.
No, the ball wasn't even thrown close. Kenny Holmes eventually got to Mike Stevens and made a good hit on him. Those plays, they take too long against the Miami defense. You got to throw them, though. You got to take a chance, but that's why it takes too long. Rutgers has to find a way to double Kenny Holmes. Here's the end of the play. Eugene Ridgely, number 29, worked his way into the receiver, but the ball was not catchable.
Holmes nearly got his 3rd sack of the night. Stevens with a short set. Throw should have been caught, dropped this time by King. A rifle shot in there, but a very catchable ball.
Now they've changed protections a little bit. They're going to put a running back, Mark Demian, on Kenny Holmes. Well, watch him slip now. He's coming out to pass rush. There he slips. Mark Demian with a good block knocks him back, but he slipped before he made contact. They've got to be able to control Kenny Holmes to have any kind of success throwing the ball.
This is a huge play for Rutgers because there's 2:30 to go in the half. The last thing they want to do is give the ball right back to Miami. And they have not done very well at all on third down conversion. Holland and Harper are the wideouts. Here comes the rush. Stevens throws to Hamlin, goes right through his arms, incomplete. So 3 pass plays after the turnover, and Rutgers will have to kick it back.
Well, they've got an injury. Rutgers has an injury. Now Kenny Holmes widens, and that's Ben French, number 74, a guard. And see, he just can't handle him out here. You've got to put a running back, even though you have the running backs in the route somehow. You have to give Ben French some help on Kenny Holmes. He cannot handle him.
French, a sophomore, a backup guard who is out there playing tackle. Slovin to punt to Benton. High snap. Slovin somehow brings it down with one hand and got it out of there. What a job by Slovin. And he even gets a Rutgers bounce inside the 35-yard line. He's already got the Special Teams Award of the Week for that grab. Let's go to Chris Fowler. Chris?
Thank you, Mike. It's coming up on our Coors Light halftime report. Our Blitzers are ready to take a look at Saturday's game. Special focus on a battle of middle linebackers. Michigan, Colorado. A report from Keith Jackson as well. And our hidden video tests your knowledge of a very obscure rule. That's all coming up at halftime.
All right, thanks, Chris. We've got a beauty here. Miami leading at 6-0 with 2:14 to go in the first half of play. Clement starts from his own 32. Clement throws near side. There's Magic. Benton slips one tackle across the 40 to the 47, maybe the 48-yard line. Thomas Kelly made the tackle. Mike, let's go back to the punt.
Jared Slovin, number 24, is going to get this snap to the left. It's going to take off to the left. Watch his left hand. Controls it with one hand. Now, intelligently kicks the football with a couple steps, gets it away.
Boy, he even kicked that thing in rhythm. Clement again with a short set. Now he flips it out in the flat to Ferguson, and Ferguson is decked in the backfield. Let's go to Jerry Punch. Doctor?
Hey, guys, not good news for the Scarlet Knights. When senior defensive back Cameron Chadwick slipped on this turf a moment ago, he did indeed pull the right hamstring, and I have been told by the team trainers that he is out for the rest of the game.
And, Jerry, that's got to be so disappointing for him because he played so well here in the first half, along with the rest of his defensive teammates, and that's Peter Clark, who is filling in at that corner. Got a timeout on the field, 1:45 to go in the half. The number 10 Canes lead by 6.
You know, I suddenly have a taste for chocolate phosphate from LaRue's drugstore.
That place we went when we were dating?
Kelly Springfield tires are designed to go a long way, and we've got the warranties to prove it. So go.
So where are you folks from?
Oh, just down the road.
Get every mile you can out of life.
Most people who play sports have feet that are flat, like this. Some are normal, and some have high arches. Companies like Adidas understand this and make shoes that suit different types of feet. The right one will help enhance your performance. There's just one problem. Which shoe belongs on which foot? Nobody knows the athlete's foot like the athlete's foot. See the latest from Adidas at the athlete's foot now.
Miami facing a 2nd and 15 at its own 43-yard line. 1:45 to go first half. The Canes up by 6. They scored on the turnover on the first series for Rutgers. Clement wants to throw deep. Intended for Green and knocked away at the last moment by Kevin Williams. Excellent coverage by Rutgers all night long.
Good coverage here against Shatil Green, but the outs are there right now for Miami. If they want to take the little outs and work take some time and work the field, it's there because you see number 10, Kevin Williams, backpedaling out, so he's giving him the outside of the Shatil Green coming up, trying to stop with this turf a little bit and make this catch, but good coverage by Kevin Williams. But I think they can throw some outs and move this ball down the field if they'll just be patient.
It looks like they're running on a slippery beach. 3rd and 15. Clement throws it short. Benton slipped one tackle, but he can't get away from the second one, and that was Peter Clark. Hats off to the Rutgers defense. And the crowd comes to its feet here in Piscataway. Crossland to punt to Holland. Pretty spiral. Holland driven back to his 5. And returns it about 5 yards to the 10 with 59 seconds to go in the half. Coming up on the Coors Light halftime report, we'll have a preview of number 5 Colorado, number 11 Michigan, and of course our hidden video and an update on the pennant chase. And there's some good ones out there.
And Miami would like to do right now, they still have 2 timeouts. I'm sure they still have visions of getting this football back, so they've got to play very intelligently down here, stop the run, because I'm sure Rutgers is going to come out and try to run the football.
I was just going to say, Rutgers has to be intelligent about it too, don't they?
Yes, they do. They want the clock to run right now with the bad field position that they have.
Hamlin and Demian are the running backs. Hamlin on the delay. And Hamlin dives out to about the 12, maybe the 13-yard line, where Roderick Mack, 51, made the tackle.
It's the kind of call you make and continue to make. Just keep making a draw call because the clock, Miami's not choosing to stop the clock. 41 seconds left.
They can stop it after 2nd and 3rd down, but Rutgers is going to eat up as much of the play clock as they can. It's at 18. 2nd and 8. Hamlin again on the sweep. Lang won't let him outside. Dumped at the 11. Let's go to Jerry Pons.
Just spoke with the groundskeeper, said at halftime they're going to comb the field and try to tap in the divots. And in the second half, during every TV timeout, guys, they're going to have guys all over the field trying to replace divots. They know the footing is atrocious.
They'll need a lot of barbers and a lot of combs.
I've never heard that term before, Jerry. We'll have to see how it works. The Coors Light halftime report with Chris Fowler coming up. Our store, Miami 6, Rutgers nothing.
Mike
He is leading the Scarlet Knights. The score only 6-0. One of the beauties of college football is you can never predict what's going to happen. Who could have predicted this? And if it wasn't for the one first half turnover on the first play, we could have a 0-0 game.
Well, 6-0, bad football field. We're playing on a pasture right here, but Miami has been held down by this Rutgers football team. Let's look at the highlights. Mike Stevens on the first play. Now he's a walk-on quarterback, a little nervous, fumbled, and Miami got great field position on this turnover. Right to Dyro McMillan, who runs a cutback. They just overrun the play for the touchdown. The only score we've had, the extra point, was missed. Now, here is the punt. Did Magic Benton touch this football or not? It's real close. Rutgers recovered it, did not get the football. Later on another punt return, Magic Benton clearly fumbles this football before he's down. Rutgers recovered, but didn't get it either.
First half, statistically, Miami with the big advantage as you would expect, but only 162-72. They have rushed the ball only 33 yards, if you wonder why that is. Rutgers came in determined to stop the run. They're playing an 8-man front and daring Miami to pass. The Hurricanes, Mike, have gone deep 4 or 5 times, but they've only hit it once. And that was to Magic Benton when the defender fell down on the play. Clement, 12 out of 19, 129. Benton with 7 catches for 105 yards. On the other side, Stevens completing only 1/3 of his passes. Hamlin has done very well on those draws and delays. 13 carries, 42 yards.
And, Mike, we've talked about this field. This field has negated the speed. If it would have rained, it really negated the speed of Miami. But the sideline, past the sideline, has really hurt Miami's speed.
Tremaine Mack and Trent Jones are deep to receive the kickoff. And Lee McDonald teeing it up at the 35-yard line.
Just thinking about Larry Coker and Butch Davis, the offensive coordinator and the head coach, they've got to be able to get a little bit better mix in this play call in the second half. The first drive is going to be interesting to see what Miami chooses to do on offense.
They've had so much success with the short passing game. My guess is you might go back to that.
I think mix it up. Short pass, take your shots downfield and run the football. You can't get away from the run because you're better than Rutgers talent-wise. You've got to be able to knock them off the line of scrimmage. Got to be able to get them out of that 8-man front.
Set to go in the second half, and Thursday night has been an incredible series over the years. The first 2 weeks of this year, it's matched up. Trent Jones on the return. Bottled up and taken down at the 13-yard line. Let's go to Jerry Punch. Doctor?
Guys, I was very impressed with Butch Davis at halftime in the Miami locker room. No yelling, no screaming, just a lot of teaching. He talked about how impressed he was with not only his defense, but the Rutgers defense, all the varying fronts that had confused their offense and how they had not made adjustments. He primarily talked about having to challenge his offensive line. K.C. Jones, the center, some of the other leaders up front. Guys, we have got to be able to run the football on these guys. And we'll make some checkoffs to get the ball in the air a little earlier with our quarterback. Mike?
All right, Jerry, let's see if that's effective as Rutgers shifts its defensive front, 1st and 10 from the 13. McMillan gets the carry, slips one tackle, still only gets 2 yards out of it, and Rutgers swarms again. Thomas Kelly up quickly from his free safety spot.
What I look for Miami to do on first down is to come back out and throw that little quick hitch on the outside because, again, if you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they got 9 in versus the running. You're not going to be able to run the football. First down, you've got Peter Clark, a sophomore corner out, lined up on Magic Benton. Now, when it gets 2nd and 3rd down, Rutgers and Rod Sharpless will bail out of that 8-man front and try to protect against pass.
Benton to the near side, Green to the far side, and Clement wants to throw. Looks for Green and badly overthrows him. Had single coverage out there from Derek Ward, who's one of the fastest men on this club, one of the fastest men in high school as a track star.
When you get a blitz right here, Norris Crawford, number 2, is going to come from the outside. So the blitz is on, but I don't believe the wide receiver read the blitz. The quarterback, Ryan Clement, did, but the wide receivers didn't read it. They got Miami frustrated.
Yes, they do.
Frustrated in their attempt to try to game plan this Rutgers defense.
Clement leads them out on 3rd and 9. And now Clement has to take a timeout, and the crowd will come to its feet. Urged on by Taman Bryant and that Rutgers defense. 6-0 Canes.
Over the past 13 years, no other import manufacturer has sold as many sport utility vehicles as American Isuzu Motors. But hey, why stop at 13? Right now you can lease a 96 Rodeo for some of the lowest prices of the year during the Isuzu Big Deal Clearance Event. The rugged, dependable, go-anywhere Isuzus.
It starts here. And it starts here. And it even starts here. Because it all starts here at Walmart, home of the EverStart battery. A powerful new battery that you can count on to start when you need it to. And since it's at Walmart, you can also count on a good price. EverStart. The name says it all.
All right, gentlemen. Tomorrow, your butts are mine. Lights up.
Man, I'm hungry.
Russell Athletic Wear is made to handle the toughest situations on and off the field.
Hot dog, French fries, hamburger,
Tacos grande,
pizza. Coach,
going somewhere, ladies. Hard work,
dedication, commitment.
Get Russell Athletic. Get tough.
Get up there, Lord Bud. Go, go.
ESPN's presentation of college football is brought to you by MetLife. Get met. It pays. And by Isuzu, equipment for real life.
Rod Sharpless, the defensive coordinator for Rutgers, earning his check tonight. He has held high-octane Miami to only 6 points. Magic Benton, by the way, there's Rashad Swinger, who's had a big game for that Rutgers defensive line. Benton has gone over the 100-yard mark again, and only he, since Wesley Carroll, has done that since 1989. 3 straight 100-yard games for Magic Benton. 7 catches, 105 yards. Lived up to the name. He'll have to do it again on 3rd and 9 as Butch Davis would love to see his offense break out of here. McMillan on the draw. Swinger got a piece of him, and McMillan dives out over the 20 to about the 22-yard line.
Rashad Swinger made the tackle, and he was a high school camper here at Rutgers, and Doug Graver told him he was too fat and needed to lose some weight. And then he went into a real physical fitness kick, lost the weight. They gave him a scholarship, and Doug Graver found a good football player, Rashad Swinger.
Crossland will have to punt it away again. Holland backpedaled to the 31, lost his footing, and went down right there. And that was in the good part of the field. Saturday at 3:30, the big showdown between the Wolverines and the Buffaloes. Headlining ABC Sports regional college football lineup. Number 11 Michigan travels to Boulder to face the number 5 Colorado Buffaloes. Then number 14 BYU will go against Washington, or you'll see other regional action. We ask you to check your local listings for the game on your local ABC station. As well as Rutgers has played on defense, the same scenario with Vanderbilt a week ago. They have to do something on offense. Hamlin will get the carry on 1st down. Lawson held him up and then got a lot of help as he reached the 34. Rutgers offensively tonight, only 1.9 yards per play.
You know, even though you look at that, they haven't played badly except the turnover, because if they don't turn the ball over, we're 0-0. So what you want your offense to do is try to score, but don't lose the football game either. But try to get something going where you keep the ball away from this Miami offense.
Stevens making his first collegiate start. 50-year senior walk-on. Throws over the middle. That was banged into Burgess, intended for Jason Curry. Let's go to Jerry Punch. Doctor?
Guys, at halftime, Terry Shea talked about the fact that his defense has played so well, but offensively, he said we have got to get a break. He said, you know, the nature of our offense is such that we save some stuff for the second half that you haven't seen in the first half, but we still have got to get a break, be able to move the football. Defensively, we're fine. Offensively, we struggle.
Well, Jerry, that's absolutely right. He's hit the nail on the head, but what can he come up with?
Well, Vanderbilt got the long pass last week. They just swung one up and hit it for the touchdown.
4-man rush against Stevens. Gets it out of there and threw that one badly. Intended for King, who had a step. And Holmes and Stevens meet up again.
Well, I said from the start of this thing, when they've got to find a way to control Kenny Holmes. Now here they double him, but he still is able to carry Ware, the left tackle, still able to get his hands in the face of Mike Stevens. Too much penetration.
Stevens has missed his last 6 passes after a modicum of success, and Slovan, who has done such a great job kicking the ball, with Benton waiting back at his 25. Benton's had trouble hanging on to the football. Good snap this time. Miami coming after him. He gets it out of there, and Benton with a fair catch back at his 30. So Miami had the rush on, didn't get there. A 35-yard punt, and no return. 12:46 to go, 3rd quarter. Still 6-0 Canes.
Introducing the Michelin X1 with a 6-year unlimited mileage tread life warranty. It has better wet traction than any rain tire, plus Michelin control in any driving condition. Because you don't just cover a lot of miles, you cover a lot of weather.
Over the past 13 years, no other import manufacturer has sold as many sport utility vehicles as American Isuzu Motors. But hey, why stop at 13? Right now you can lease a 96 Rodeo for some of the lowest prices of the year during the Isuzu Big Deal Clearance Event. The rugged, dependable, go-anywhere Isuzus.
Introducing the Michelin X1 with a 6-year unlimited mileage tread life warranty. It gives you better wet traction than any rain tire, plus control in any driving condition. After all, it hasn't rained that much in years.
Terry Bowden's Auburn Tigers visit conference rival Ole Miss. Saturday at 12:30, only on ESPN2.
12:46 to go, third quarter. Miami leading Rutgers 6-0. Mike Patrick, Mike Godfrey, Jerry Punch, our entire ESPN crew. Glad you could join us tonight. The Scarlet Knights of Rutgers trying to make a statement under first-year head coach Terry Shea. They are down by only 6. Miami takes over at its own 30. Ferguson back in at tailback, and Miami against this 8-man front has had no success running the football tonight.
Mike, there's the matchup right there. Peter Clark, number 9, against Magic Benton. You've got a one-on-one situation. First down is your throw down here, I believe.
Out of the eye. Clement, play action. Green knocked out at the 40, very close to a first down.
Good play call, because first down, there's no doubt Rutgers is ganging up on the run, so you've got the coverage. You want Derek Ward on the outside. You teal Green with a comeback route, throw the ball on first down. If they're going to bunch you up with 8-9 people, you've got to be able to make that change at the line of scrimmage, take advantage of that one-on-one coverage on the outside. You got Magic Benton on this side versus a young corner, Peter Clark, so you got to take that on first down.
One back set with Ferguson. And Ferguson will get the carry on first down. Had a nice hole that time. And lowers the shoulder and rams his way out to the 45-yard line. Ferguson with his first action of the season here in the third game. Rushed for over 1,000 yards last year. Only the second game ever to do it.
Yeah, the coaches were concerned about getting him into the rhythm tonight because he hasn't played in a while.
And has gained only 15 yards on 7 carries so far tonight. Second and 5. Clement, short set out to Green. Green knocked down at midfield. Nice solid tackle by Derek Ward. Been their most consistent corner.
Mike, if Miami will be patient, this is there for them. And then if it's not there, then you can check off to the run. But you've got the 8-9 people in the box. So now here's what you've got. You got one-on-one out here, and you got one-on-one out here. So you can run the out route out there. You got everybody else inside. Make the completion. Be patient. Maybe they'll fall down, slip. You get a big play. Here's the receiver ISO. You teal Green, and you've got a cushion against Derek Ward. Take advantage of that. That'll open it up, and then you can run the ball.
3rd and a yard. Clement wants to throw for it to Ferguson in the flat. He has the first down to the Rutgers 46-yard line. Chris Sabula coming outside to make the tackle.
Yeah, that's just like a run right there. You just get the ball to Danielle Ferguson on the outside. Instead of pitching it to him or handing it off to him, you just throw a little flare pass to him. This is a run all the way in the Miami book. Danielle Ferguson, now you get the 205 pounds out there, the all-purpose back. Chris Sabula makes the tackle, number 93, but again, a first down. Let's see if they come back and throw on first down here.
This is the 6th time that Miami has entered Rutgers territory. They have only one score to show for it. Ferguson on first down. Big hole this time and dives down to the 36-yard line, close to another first down.
Now, when you throw the ball on first down, now you get Rod Sharpless in a bind now, because Rod Sharpless is playing the pass on first down. It opens up the running game for Danielle Ferguson. So now you're putting a little stress on Rod Sharpless because you got a little mix. Larry Coker's in a little bit of more of a rhythm right now against Rod Sharpless.
Trying to rotate some of their personnel on defense, but this is a team without much depth, and they may start to wear down here in the second half against Miami.
2 tight ends, maybe a bomb here. Check off, because you definitely got one-on-one out here.
Well, Chambers makes the catch. Slam to the ground. The ball comes loose, but after he's down at the 32. Let's go to the doctor. Jerry?
Guys, at halftime, Larry Coker sat down with his quarterback, Ryan Clement, and said, you know, I know you're a little hesitant to check off at the line of scrimmage, but take your time. when you walk up there. I've been watching Clement these first 3 or 4 series here in the second half. He's taken a lot of time over the center and watching the free safety Kelly. He sees 8, 9 in the box. He's checking off. It's exactly what Coker told him to for the short passing game. And those short passes on the early downs, Coach, opening up the run on subsequent series.
Yeah, Doc, and you're exactly right, because number 21, Thomas Kelly's a safety, and usually the safety will tip you a little bit for the defense of what they're in coverage-wise, because if he's in man-to-man coverage, he's got to get over to that side on the number 2 receiver. He's trying to help weak or strong. You're going to be able to tell that, but Thomas Kelly can't give it away too soon.
Clements is now number 2 on Miami's all-time completion percentage list, just behind Bernie Kosar. He's at 4 out of 4 on this drive, and it should have been 5 out of 5. Gerald Daphnis had it in his hands and couldn't hold it. Well, that would have been a huge play.
Yeah, just talking about Thomas Kelly, he's got the second receiver out. Now Gerald Daphnis goes in motion. Thomas Kelly's going to, he has him all the way. You see Thomas Kelly now, he makes his move late. He's up there for the interception on Gerald Daphnis, just doesn't make the play. It's a well-thrown ball by Ryan Clement, but a good defensive play by Thomas Kelly, the free safety.
This entire secondary has played very well. Remember, they lost Cameron Chadwick to a hamstring injury in the first half. Toss to Ferguson. Blocking in front. Ferguson, 20, 10, touchdown. 31 yards, and that quiets the crowd here at Rutgers.
2 good blocks on that play. Nick Williams, the fullback, number 30, with a good block. Yatil Green, number 87, downfield with a block. Here's Yatil Green's block, number 87. He's blocking on Peter Clark. Clark slips a little bit. That's the play, that's the block that was able to spring Danielle Ferguson for the touchdown.
And it really helps if you have big wide receivers that will go down and engage a back.
Give Larry Coker credit and Butch Davis credit. They went in at halftime, came out, checked off a little bit. Ryan Clement, like Jared Punt said, checking off. Now they're going to go for 2.
They missed the extra point try on their first touchdown. We'll check the flag.
Illegal substitution against the offense.
They got him for illegal substitution, having too many people in the huddle when they broke the huddle. Now you got to decide whether you want to kick the extra point. The percentages go down on the 2-point play.
Spotted all the way back out at the 8-yard line. And Clement looking to the bench. That was only the second penalty of this game. It has been remarkably penalty-free.
They're going to still go for 2.
This is a little surprising from the 8.
And they're down on the clock again. The play clock's 11.
Green and Benton go to the far side. Chambers to the near side. Into the end zone, caught by Jones, or excuse me, Daphnis for the 2-point conversion. So they make it pay from the 8-yard line and hit the 2-point conversion. But the touchdown run came from Danielle Ferguson as Miami got the ground game going.
FLIC Auto Centers wants to put you in the driver's seat of your next car, truck, or van. We have hundreds of top-quality, late-model, and low-mileage pre-owned vehicles, many still under warranty. Drive one home today for just $199 down. Excellent financing is available, and injured credit is no problem. Come see Central Florida's #1 liquidator of thousands of pre-owned cars, trucks, and vans. FLIC Auto Centers, 1 mile east of 436 on Colonial.
People are either radiators or drains, and I radiate my sunshine on everybody.
You are looking good, baby.
In fact, I get them to thank me for taking their money.
Wow.
The Saturns caught my eye from the first one I saw.
How do you like your Saturn? Keep your shirt on. I'm looking at the car.
People would be screaming and honking.
This is gorgeous.
Get back in your boat.
How about a look under the hood?
I must have talked to at least 2,000-3,000 different Saturn owners. Every single one of them absolutely loved their car.
Grace and the Cubs know the NL Central is anybody's race, and they're charging toward the playoff stretch. They'll host the Phillies at Wrigley. The Phillies-Cubs, the Sunday night baseball game of the week, Sunday at 8 on ESPN.
Coming up on SportsCenter, Mike Mussina goes for 20 as the O's try to shut down Chicago in the wild card race. The USA looks to even the score against the Canadians. And Keith Olbermann will break down the renaming of stadiums as only Keith can. SportsCenter, after football.
Miami finally has some breathing room. The Kings on top of Rutgers 14-0 after they score their second touchdown, go for the two-point conversion and get it. 9:36 to go in the quarter. The attendance here tonight, 29,379. The biggest crowd ever in this stadium was for Miami a couple of years ago. Ferguson talking to the coaches on the sideline, and Ferguson the star of that last drive. Harper at the 6 for Rutgers. Ridgely, the special teams demon in on the tackle.
Back to the two-point conversion. The star of this drive was Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator, showing patience. But you see Ryan Clement finding Gerald Daphnis in the corner of the end zone. Good eye, ball coordination for the catch. Hell yeah!
And Butch Davis wanted that one badly to put his team up by 2 touchdowns. And with the way his defense has played and Rutgers' offense lack of productivity, you have to think he's got to feel pretty comfortable right now.
Larry Coker, as I said, good, patient, good adjustments in the second half. That first drive, just an excellent job calling plays.
They go back to work with Hamlin on the delay, and Hamlin works his way out to the 27. Mike, so much like a week ago, you see an underdog team playing its heart out, trying to make a game out of it and doing it. But that's what good teams do. They come on the road, play against all that emotion. You're the big game for them, and somehow they find a way to come out of it with a win.
Well, just like last week, Notre Dame, Ron Powell was 5 for 5 or 6 for 6 in that last drive. They turned it over to that big offensive line, just was able to knock the ball in the end zone against the spirited Vanderbilt team.
Stevens back to throw on 2nd and 5. Here comes Holmes again. Stevens will try to run. A stiff arm will get him another 3 or 4 yards. Got away from Twan Russell with the stiff arm.
The tough thing when you come into a new job is Terry Shea's coming into this job here at Rutgers, and all of a sudden you've got a 5th-year quarterback. Now, he's got younger quarterbacks. He's got Ralph Saka and he's got Corey Ballantyne, but they're not ready to play. Mike Stevens gives him the best chance to play, even though he's only going to be here this year. Kenny Holmes with good pass rush. Twan Russell, number 45, trying to hold on to that ankle.
I think part of that was his commitment to the seniors. He said he wasn't going to give up on them, that they were part of his program. There's the total yard story. Rutgers is still not hit 100 in this game. Stevens on a little half roll and dropped right in the hands of Harper. Preseason all Big East selection by the Football News. Couldn't hold that one.
He missed spring practice. He was working on his academics. He had 35 pass receptions last year. You've got to have everything go when you're trying to pull the upset. Just pulled his head away from that ball and just didn't bring it in. Steve Harper, all the drills that you do, you look the ball into your hands and bring it on in. He just didn't bring it in.
2nd and 10 for the Scarlet Knights.
They haven't been able to run a screen effectively. You'd think that they'd be able to screen this team.
Stevens with plenty of time this time and completes it for what should be a first down. And now the official will mark it about 2 yards away from where the man caught it. As Dwayne Starks came up to make the tackle, the ball was well across that yard line, and contact drove him back.
Well, I think he put it back down on his right foot there, so he gave him a pretty good spot after.
And the crowd letting him have it.
Dwayne Starks covering Bill Powell. Looked like it was going to be a wheel route. The outside receiver taking off down the sideline, but Bill Powell, nice route, came back for the completion.
They'll stretch that chain just as far as it'll go, and even with the bad spot, they have a first down. Stevens now 7 out of 22. Coming into the game, he had only completed 35% of his passes, but he had done the best job of hitting receivers in stride because a big part of the West Coast offense is yards after the catch.
Yards after the catch is timing routes, being able to make good decisions, and Mike Stevens is going to learn this offense as he goes along the season.
Jerry Fauntleroy, number 5, in for the first time behind Hamlin, or with Hamlin. And Hamlin across the 45 to the 46. Let's go to Jerry Punch.
Guys, an often overused cliche about coaches is that so-and-so wrote the book on offense or wrote the book on defense. Well, Rutgers head coach Terry Shea did indeed write the book on quarterbacks, and here it is. Published in 1987, this book written by Shea when he was at Utah State talks about everything from what the position should be to what you do when you're outmanned and under pressure, like his young man is tonight. It talks about 3 steps and 5-step drops. Little wonder Stevens is having pretty good success.
And Jerry, he's worked with some really good quarterbacks throughout his career, developed people, and that's what he's going to have to do here at Rutgers. 2nd and 9. Stevens again with a short set. Goes out in the flat, complete to his tight end Curry. And Curry wrapped up quickly by Tremaine Mack.
I'll tell you, a nice tackle by Tremaine Mack. That ball's completed to the 6'4", 250-pound Curry. But Tremaine Mack just wraps him up and makes that tackle. Bill Miller said his sky's the limit for what he can do. Tremaine Mack just really closing well on that completion.
When you don't expect that kind of hitting and tackling ability from a guy who's got 4.3 speed either.
No. And he's the kick blocker.
He's everything. Last week they even put him in a wide receiver for a few points. 3rd and 6. Rutgers trying to do something on offense. Here comes Holmes again. Stevens steps up and rifles one. First down at the Miami 30-yard line. Maybe his best throw of the night as he hit Walter King.
What you said is important, though, Mike. He stepped up in the pocket. Kenny Holmes was coming from the outside. Again, they're having trouble blocking Kenny Holmes, but he fell down. Kenny Holmes is going to come on the pass rush, working against Kerry Ware, and then now he just slips and falls down, never gets. But Mike Stevens worked up the field. He stepped up as a good quarterback does, found the passing lane, and hit Walter King over the middle. Right in front of our guy, Tremaine Mack.
Walter King has some talent. State triple jump champion. 2nd best time in the state of New Jersey in the 400. Stevens, pump fake, wants to go deep. Throws this one up for grabs. Mack at the 1. Mack with some blocking. Coming back. This kid can fly up to the 40. 45 pushed out of bounds. So after he throws his best pass of the night, Mike Stevens came back and maybe threw his worst.
Well, that's the inexperience of quarterback because it was a hitch and go, but it was double covered. He threw into double coverage. Terry Shea knows that if he gets this guy a little longer, he'll teach him how to make those throws, how to get off throws against bad coverage. But you're going to see double coverage on Bill Powell, number 80. See number 3, Tremaine Mack, come over the top. They've got him doubled. The interception's made. Doubling him with Earl Little, and then the big return by Tremaine Mack. You talk about good speed on the corner to give good field position to this Miami offense.
Stevens with the interception. Mack with a 40-yard interception return. And now Miami can apply the killer blow. Ferguson, big hole. Ferguson up to the 46-yard line. Art Dreyer, the transfer from Georgia Tech, number 1, made the tackle.
When we talked to Rashad Swinger, the defensive lineman from Rutgers the other day, he was talking about watching the Virginia Tech film last year because Virginia Tech was successful against this Miami offense, and it's the same defense that Rod Sharpless brought to Rutgers, so they spent all their time on that Virginia Tech film.
That 4-4 look, something that Penn State used forever.
Penn State used it a lot. Washington out in the Pac-10, people like those 8-man fronts.
Clement play action under a lot of pressure. Got rid of it, completed it to Daphnis. And the big tight end down to the Rutgers 43-yard line where Thomas Kelly made the tackle. Good reaction by Clement.
Well, that made the play, and Ryan Clement, as Larry Coker said, he gets on a mission to beat people, but he makes this play. And the key in this play is getting his head around right away. Now, he's going to fake to the left, but now watch him get his head around. Now, as soon as he gets his head around, Gil Ross is in his face, but he knows because he got that head around quick to get that ball off to Gerald Daphnis, number 82, for the completion.
Another first down for the Canes. 4:14 and counting. The numbers on Clement as he hits 165 yards for the night. And back to throw on first down, another blitz. Goes out to Jones, the other tight end. He's down to the Rutgers 38-yard line. Clement just jumped up like he was hurt and is limping a little bit.
Well, last year, Scott Covington and Ryan Clement were in a battle. Ryan Clement said, I never felt comfortable because Scott Covington, I was always looking to the sideline whether he was going to come in. Against Boston College, he started the game and then got yanked, and Covington came into the ball game. But he came back in and with 49 seconds led them down the field for the field goal that won the game. And he felt like that he finally had the job. Norris Crawford on the blitz.
Boy, he nailed it, too. It was 2nd and 5. And Clement goes back to throw again. Another blitz. Got it out to Yatil Green, and Green down to the 32.
Just thinking that I know what he's thinking about. He's hurt, but he's not going to let Scott Covington get on that field because he's going to keep him off that field by playing very well. And again, he takes the hitch. The hitch is there again. Yatil Green on the outside versus Derek Ward. You see the cushion. Now you have to respect the speed. Just a quick hitch, but the ball's thrown on 3 steps. It's open, and take it. I mean, again, Larry Coker and Butch Davis have shown tremendous patience in the second half, and that's been the difference in the second half than the first half.
And did you see Ward out there like he's dancing on eggshells, making sure he doesn't fall down as he tries to close on the pass? Ferguson on the toss behind Joseph. Nice block. Good tackle again by Rashad Swinger, who had him by the ankles.
And they've got good mix in their offense now. Just a quick hitch. They'll take that. Then all of a sudden they try to cover the quick hitch. Daniel Ferguson gets the ball up inside. The big back pitch. Watch the block. Fullback. Carlo Joseph, number 40, is going to lead him. There's the block. Kick out block. One Gil Ross. Now Daniel Ferguson can just stick it up inside. Rashad Swinger with the tackle. Good drive. Nice drive by Miami.
2nd and 6 here. Ferguson in his first game back, averaging 5.8 yards a carry. We'll take that anytime. Clement, another 3-step drop. This time he wants to throw deep and just over his intended receivers. Benton had a step and couldn't hold it.
Well, once you keep throwing those hitches out there, those defensive backs get a little closer, and even though it wasn't a hitch and go, it was just a streak route by Magic Benton. He's going to take off on the outside. Derek Ward's going to turn his back to him and work outside, but this is open. And Ryan Clement knows right now that he made a mistake. Here's his reaction. He knows right now he put too much under him. Threw it away.
3rd and 6 from the Rutgers 29. Ferguson is the single setback. Jones on the wing in motion. Clement under pressure, throws for Jones, incomplete. Coming hard again was Norris Crawford, number 2.
And they have just too many people rushing because what they're trying to do, Rod Sharpless defensively now, is get one more rushing than you can block. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. With the playing conditions, it's a good move because field goal kicker would have a tough time from here.
It is a 4th and 6. Butch Davis trying to put the hammer down on the Rutgers defense. They don't blitz on this one. They get a good rush with 4, and here goes Clement. He's got the first down and more inside the 10-5 goal line, down just short of a touchdown. 27-yard run for Ryan Clement, whose longest run before this game this year was 1 yard.
Well, you have them all covered, but the quarterback found the seam, and that's why he's won 9 in a row as the quarterback for Miami, and that's why he won the job. When you talk to the coaches at Miami, they said it was a good battle between he and Scott Covington, but he won the battle. This confidence that he's showing right now and the opportunity to play, he got the opportunity. Rod Sharpless knows right away. He said, I had that defended, but can't let the quarterback out.
1st and goal, and Ferguson in for the Miami touchdown. Well, Ryan Clement isn't going to make anybody forget Jim Brown anytime soon, but that was a pretty good run.
Well, you think he's a better runner than Bernie Kosar. Bernie used to run the ball for Miami as a quarterback. He was an outstanding quarterback there. Jim Kelly.
That's right.
I mean, they've had some quarterbacks. Vinny, they're all speed merchants.
Vinny's been running well in the pros, too.
Right.
Crossland on for the point after he missed his first try and does it again. Wide left for the second time tonight. It was a 58-yard drive after Mack's 40-yard interception return. So 2 of Miami's scores set up by Rutgers turnovers. And this is more like the result that the teams had expected tonight.
Yeah, I think that they've wore Rutgers down a little bit, not trying to make excuses for Rutgers. I think they've given a great effort, but here you're going to see the offensive line of Miami now just be able to use their size, come off the ball, and get that ball to Daniel Ferguson. Great block again by Carlo Joseph. And there's the confidence.
And Clement, who set it up with that quarterback scramble on 4th and 6.
As their schedule setting up, you know they're going to probably be undefeated when they face Bobby Bowden's Florida State team down at Miami. So this Miami team's going to get better and better.
And that is always one of the great games every year to look forward to when those two lock it up. Miami now leading 20-0 after leading only 6-0 at halftime. Kevin Williams, the center deep man for Rutgers. And Williams will take it at the 11. Buried as he got to the 29. Next Thursday, tune in at 7:30 Eastern for the weekend kickoff show. Catch all the insights and predictions. Then at 8 o'clock, an ACC battle as Warwick Dunn and the number 3 Florida State Seminoles head to NC State. Mike, if you're a coach right now for Rutgers, if you're Terry Shea in his first year trying to build this program with not a whole lot waiting for him when he came in, what do you want to do down 20-0? What can you accomplish?
I'm going to stay with my offense because I want to teach this offense. I haven't had a lot of time, spring practice, and I'm against a good defense right now. I just want to stay with what I'm doing. I don't believe that the Rutgers can win this football game, but I believe they can grow, and they may be able to use this game to win somewhere else down the line, Mike. And when you look at this football team, they're outmanned tonight. Make no mistake about it. This was a good plan by Terry Shea and Rod Sharpless coming into this ball game, and you just look to improve. When you have a program that's lost, a team that's lost, and Rutgers was pretty good last year on offense. I thought they did a lot of good things under Doug Graber, but this is a ball club that's got to learn a new system on both sides of the ball now and just get better at it and eventually win and learn how to win and then go to the next phase.
The last carry was by Gary Fauntleroy, a sophomore who was playing for the first time, did not qualify academically last year. Fauntleroy had one of the great high school careers in New Jersey history. Stevens on the run, intercepted by Ridgely, and Ridgely back to the 40-yard line. Eugene Ridgely, who started 5 at safety last year in what may be the deepest secondary in the entire nation. They have 8 guys back there who can start.
Well, they really do. When you flush a quarterback into the short side of the field and there's not a lot of area to throw and a heavy zone coverage, he was trying to get the ball to Walter King and it picked off by Eugene Ridgely. Here they get him in the good pass rush and they get him moving to his left side. And he just never gets anything on the ball, threw it right to Eugene Ridgely. And Mike, again, this score may mount, but you got to give credit to Rutgers again for the game they played to this point. They played very spirited and they've had good game plans.
Ferguson with Joseph in the Miami backfield. Ferguson tries to get it outside. Rutgers stringing it up. Ferguson will still get 5-6 yards inside the Rutgers 40-yard line. Thomas Kelly drove him out of bounds.
Because they opened it up and threw the ball, very successful. The runs there now, and now they're making those blocks, and Rod Sharpless is trying to get people out under those hitches. So the guessing game now, Larry Coker's won it a little bit in the second half.
And the Rutgers defensive kids have to be whipped.
Oh, they really do. And there's the education going on between the coach and the quarterback. Ralph Sacca is warming up.
How would you like to be Stevens in this situation, making your first career start, a walk-on at Tennessee, then a walk-on here, and you get to start against Miami?
I thought he played it admirably.
Clement to throw. Has the completion inside the 5, inside the 10-yard line. Touchdown. Tony Gator, number 22, with a 34-yard reception.
Ryan Clement's going to find Tony Gator, number 22. You see him work down the football field against Derek Ward. Gave him a good move, slipped down, but was able to get back up, make the catch, then just poor tackling. People falling all over the place on this field, and Tony Gator's off for the races. A lot of people slipping in those hashes.
Crossland really wants to make a point after, and finally does, after he missed his first 2 wide left. And 27-0 Miami. Nice throw that time by Clement. That drive only took 15 seconds, 2 plays after the interception. From high above our overhead coverage, the Goodyear blimp Stars and Stripes, and our thanks to Captain Chambers and the crew for all the spectacular shots of tonight's telecast. And certainly in the first half, we got some spectacular shots of that Rutgers defense. They played very, very well, and hats off to Rod Sharpless for conceiving the game plan.
And Mike, it's what you asked me. When you take over a rebuilding situation, you have to show the team a good play, a good quarter, a good half, and then you got to keep extending it. And Rod Sharpless is telling these guys, hey, we played very well in the first half. Now we just got to take it in the second half.
Miami has scored touchdowns in its last 3 possessions, and Rod Sharpless is not done working tonight. Gaitan to kick it away. Williams. And buried as he got to the 23-yard line. Starks nearly took his head off.
Now that's a great tackle on special teams. And 168 pounds, he brought his whole weight on that one.
And this is the new quarterback, Ralph Saka. If the name is familiar, you remember his older brothers, John and Tony. Quarterbacks all. He's out of Delran, New Jersey. Really probably has the best arm of anybody, but a very, very slow release. And through 2 games, some pretty good numbers. 15 out of 24. That's 62%. There's a flag down before the play starts.
Miami's got 12 guys on the field.
They don't need him.
No.
Illegal substitution on a defense.
That's the kind of thing that will drive a coach nuts.
Yeah, but it's a little easier to take when you're 27-0 ahead on the road. But you don't like those kind of mistakes because they'll come back to haunt you somewhere down the line.
Yeah, you won't be able to make those mistakes against Florida State.
No, not against Bobby Bowden and his coaching staff.
15 seconds to go, 3rd period. Saka back to throw. Here comes the pressure, and down he goes at the 25-yard line. Lang was the first man to get there. The 4th sack of the night by the Hurricane defensive line.
And you know, let's close the book on Mike Stevens a little bit. He did a pretty good job.
He did that under adverse circumstances. That's the end of the 3rd quarter here at Rutgers. The Scarlet Knights down now to Miami, 27-0. At Rutgers with the 10th ranked team in the nation, the Miami Hurricanes, on top 27-0. Here are the stats through 3 quarters, and now you can see the domination that the Hurricanes starting to roll up. 337 total yards to only 118, but the 3 turnovers, and it's always the case, have killed Rutgers tonight and their chance for an upset bid. Rutgers will take over as we start the 4th quarter with a 2nd and 9 from the 25. Ralph Saka, the new quarterback. Bobbled the snap. Gives it off to Hamlin, and he's brought down after a short gain. And we are very pleased to have with us the exceptional coach of the Florida State Seminoles, Bobby Bowden. Bobby, we'll get to see you next week in Raleigh against North Carolina State. And so far on Thursday night, the heavy favorite has had a tough time, at least in the early going. We don't mean to jinx you, but we'll be looking forward to it.
Well, yeah, Rutgers is, you know, I've been able to watch most of the ball game. They've done a heck of a job, but well, it's just a case of, looks like a case of Miami just pounding and pounding and pounding until they finally just pound them into submission.
Bobby, Mike Godfrey, Warwick Dunn, of course, I think he's the best back in college football. And coming back for his senior year, what has he meant to your club?
Well, he means a lot because we feel like he can run about as good as any of them. And, I thought he showed a lot of maturity in doing what he was doing. And, of course, again, it means a lot to us when I like to fake that ball to that tailback and throw it, or I like to hand it to him. Or we either fake throws and hand it to him or fake runs to him and throw it, And so he's the key man there.
Here's Slovan on 4th down. He's done a nice job tonight in the kicking game. It's off a high sailor, this time a beauty, and Benton will signal for the fair catch and make it up to 37. Bobby, let me ask you about, Mike mentioned the fact that Warwick Dunn back for his senior year. The fact that he came back, I think, is a tribute to him and the principles that he is playing under right now.
Well, there's no doubt about it. He came to Florida State. He had just lost his mother in the middle of his last high school season. She was killed in a robbery, and she was a policewoman, and so he had 5 and 6 brothers and sisters, and no father there. So he and his grandmother have practically raised those kids, and he's one of the most mature young men I've ever had. Yeah, he was mature when he came to Florida State.
Bobby, I know you got NC State, and that's where all your attention lies and should lie next week. But, Miami's down the road. You're going to go down there. And, of course, first-year quarterbacks that had a tough time. You've got a good quarterback going, Thad Busby, don't you?
Well, he's got the tools. He just needs the experience. And last week was a pretty good example. As his first start for us, he's a redshirt junior, and he did some good things, and yet he was tentative on some things, too, Well, he's got to get all the games under his belt he can get before he faces this group right here.
Coach, you always have that rough game against Miami. It's always a game that people all over the country look forward to. You've got them coming up at the end of the month or beginning of next month. Your impressions of them so far?
Well, they really look good. I did not get to see their first ball game. Well, let me say I saw probably about a quarter of it. But I think them beating at Memphis there with all those guys they had out of the game, was very impressive. Then this ball game tonight, I'm just as impressed because big things the way they're playing. When you can play defense like they're playing, you can struggle a long time on offense, and you still probably going to win the game.
Coach, how would you assess your team as a whole so far this season?
Well, our defense is just our defense has dominated our offense all during spring training and all during the fall. Then we played Duke the other day, and they dominated Duke pretty good. Now, our offense, we still got our big question mark starting off the season was offensive line, And the injuries we've had this fall, most of them have been on the offensive line. It's driving me nuts. And the key to us is our offensive line staying healthy and getting better every week, That and my quarterback. If my quarterback can come through and that offensive line, then we've really got some good skill.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. We appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you against the Wolfpack next Thursday night.
We'll see you Thursday week, man.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. 12:32 to go in the game. Back in a moment.
Save $10 on one of the most powerful batteries, the Pro Start, for $39.99 after mail-in rebate. Get the power you need, just $39.99. The Pro Start at all Pep Boys and Parts USA stores now.
How do you test the ultimate 4x4? Well, let's just say the ends of the earth is a great place to start. Introducing the new special edition Jeep Cherokee Classic.
All across the nation, people are asking the same question. Where's Candace?
I don't know what happened to her. All I did was show her how I count my dimes. 1 minute, 2 minutes.
It's Sprint's dime a minute thing, man. It's so totally popular, she's gone into hiding.
Now comes news that Sprint's made it even better.
Introducing 10 cents a minute, 24 hours a day to the number you call the most.
Well, that's great news, but will we ever see Candace again?
Don't hold your breath.
Call now for 10 cents a minute, 24 hours a day to the number you call the most.
46 cents. A great price on all high-quality Lee oil filters. Only 46 cents after mail-in rebate. All Lee oil filters, an incredible low 46 cents. At all Pep Boys and Parts USA stores now.
ESPN's presentation of college football is brought to you by Jeep, makers of the new Jeep Grand Cherokee, Cherokee, and Wrangler.
12:32 left to go in the game. Miami now in control here at Rutgers, 27-0, and facing a 3rd and 4 at the Rutgers 37-yard line. Scott Covington, the new quarterback. He has Ferguson and Joseph behind him. Covington considered the better athlete than Clement. And Butch Davis said he will play a lot this year regardless of his status as the non-starter. Ferguson trying to get that first down and dives forward to the 32.
They really battled for the quarterback, Scott Covington and Ryan Clement. And Ryan Clement just barely got the edge over Scott Covington. You see his statistics. He thought about transferring, but he stayed at Miami. He's going to continue to compete for this quarterback position.
Those are his numbers through the first 2 ball games. Ryan Clement, who came in hitting 75% on the year, hit more than 2/3 of his passes tonight. Here's Ferguson wrapped up in the backfield trying to break tackles and stopped all the way back outside the 40-yard line. And Rutgers just trying to make something happen with their defense right now.
Dyro McMillan, who scored that first touchdown, hasn't played much in the second half. Of course, Danielle Ferguson being back now, but he had a chance to go for 3 straight 100-yard games and won't make it tonight.
2nd and 18. Had some movement early. It looked like Magic Benton jumped offside. Let's go to Jerry Punch. Doctor, what do you have?
Guys, all throughout the first half, the ground crew have worked themselves silly here trying to get these divots put back, and finally they decided just to give up and pull it off the field and pile it up over here against the wall in front of me. Right here, that's a hash mark, guys. That's one of the hash marks here. I got part of the goal line. I got part of the Big East insignia on the field. Basically, this little pile here is the 35 to 45-yard line. That's how bad it has gotten. They just pick it up during timeouts and pile it up here next to the concrete.
Jerry, it is a mess, but the good news is we understand they are going to replace all those bad areas of turf after this game.
Right after the game. Jerry could sod his whole lawn there.
Covington back to throw. Straight down the middle and just over the hands of the diving Daphnis.
Pass was intended for Gerard Daphnis.
Covington out of Laguna Niguel, California.
Just out of the outstretched hands of Gerald Daphnis, number 82, the tight end. Scott Covington had him down the middle against 2 deep coverage with a linebacker running with him. Taman Bryant, 29.
3rd and 23 now for Miami. If you wonder why they're throwing, it's because Rutgers is coming with 9-10 guys to stop the passing game.
And you want to get Scott
running game.
And you want to get Scott Covington some work. You may need him. He's going to get hit here. Blitz and drilled. Coming hard, Peter Clark off the corner. Clark replaced Cameron Chadwick when he was hurt earlier in the ball game. Well, the receivers didn't see the blitz coming. Scott Covington was ready to unload, but both receivers are running down the football field. They have to make an adjustment. Look down left corner here. Is going to be the blitz coming from the outside. Peter Clark, the corner. Now, Scott Covington saw it, but the receivers didn't break their route. They needed to cut their route short. They weren't ready to do it. Scott Covington took the sack.
Crossland will punt it away to Holland. Gets it out of there short and end over end. And it rolls across the 20-yard line down there. No return after a poor punt. from Crossland, who was just concerned about getting it out of there. 10:07 left. 27-0 Canes.
It's the perfect landing. It's another business day. It's friendly blue waiting there for you. It's traveling your way. And best of all, it's thrifty. Ooh, you'll be so satisfied. Best of all, it's thrifty. Renting cars with pride worldwide.
Most of us have dreams for the future. Some of us make plans. Terry Bennett, in the next 4 years, her interest in athletics will lead Terry into orthopedic training. She'll serve in Germany and Hawaii and receive cash for college while building a career in physical therapy. Futures like this don't just happen. Today's military opens new opportunities for women in hundreds of careers with the training, experience, and education it takes to make a dream come true. Make it happen in the U.S. Armed Forces.
This is it, gentlemen. Finds like these turn careers into legends.
It is a legend. I mean, it's responsible for the entire species.
I can't believe it's in this kind of shape after so many years.
All right, let's get it out of here.
Get the crane! Wait!
The legendary Jeep Cherokee Sport. With a lease rate of just $219 a month, it could be exactly what you've been searching for.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Work done in the Knolls. Look to tear up the Wolfpack. Florida State, NC State. Next Thursday at 8, only on ESPN.
Well, we're in New Jersey, so this must be a union job, and if so, it's got to be $22 an hour, and they're earning it tonight.
Well, they're not waiting until the end of the game to take that field down. They're taking it right now. As a matter of fact, they got so much grass in that bag they can't lift it.
It has been a mess, and it certainly slowed down Miami's offense, but didn't stop it as the Canes are now on top 27-0. Sack of the quarterback as Rutgers will start from its own 20. Sacka looks downfield and right through the hands of Walter King, who was wide open.
Second down.
Our thrifty car rental storyline from Rutgers. Clement finishes his night 20 of 31, 210 yards and 1 touchdown. Rutgers, with those 3 turnovers, led to 19 of Miami's 27 points. And on total offense, Rutgers has been held to 119 yards.
Ralph Sacka's got a slow delivery, and those Miami defensive linemen trying to get to him. Bernard Lang and Kenny Holmes.
Well, we got a couple of semi-clean jerseys in there as Butch Davis wants to keep his players. #1 defense on the field, and Sacka had no chances. He went to the outside. Bernard Lang just ran him down.
Again, Mike, Terry Shea is really behind here, because when you take over a new job and you get to spring practice, you're trying to figure out who the players are. Early in the fall practice, when you get a 3-way battle going for the quarterback position this early like this, it's just going to take away the number of snaps everybody can get in practice. So he settled on Mike Stevens. That's his guy, but he'll play the younger guys a little bit, and hopefully they'll be ready by next year. I wouldn't be surprised he goes out and recruits a junior college quarterback, though.
With his California background, there are a lot of those guys out there who can play. 3rd and long for Sacka. Chased out of the pocket again. Lang trying to get another Miami sack. And got a piece of Sacka's ankles and took him down at the 20-yard line.
And he's in such a fertile area here. We're talking about Terry Shea of recruiting New Jersey. And the New Jersey high school coaches are among the best at coaching the game of football. There's so many prospects come out of New Jersey every year. If Terry Shea can just get his group and get a nucleus here and then fill in from Pennsylvania and some of the other states, he's got a chance to rebuild this program and get it going. Doug Graber was real close in this.
Yes, he was. A lot of good players in New Jersey. They sprinkled around rosters around the rest of the country. Nice job by Slogan to get it out of the Benton at the 37. Has not had a good return tonight. Will not have one now. Excellent special teams coverage. A loss of 3 on the return after a 43-yard punt. Roger Wingate, the linebacker, made the tackle. 27-0. Back in a moment.
When the whole family is hungry, there's nothing like Sonny's Feast for 4.
Feeding 4 isn't easy.
Thin sliced pork or beef, mouth-watering chicken, Sonny's famous spare ribs, plus barbecue beans, coleslaw, French fries, garlic bread, and 4 soft drinks or iced tea.
You can't do barbecue better.
Served family style or to go all this month at participating Sonny's. Yummy.
Hey.
Hey, isn't that?
Sure is.
And that can't be.
Yep.
All right, well, what's going on here?
Smart People Society. They meet here every Tuesday.
Smart People Society. What am I doing in the Smart People Society?
Well, that's your Ultima, isn't it?
Make the intelligent choice. Through September 3rd, lease a 97 Ultima for only $199 a month for 24 months with $499 down.
His sons as broadcasters, Joe McGinty plays the voice of NFL films in every role.
The mountainous size of an on-rushing defender. The splintering force of a forearm shiver. 1 ton of muscle with a one-track mind.
Coming up on SportsCenter, powering for the wild card. The O's and White Sox battle. We'll prep you for the Michigan-Colorado rematch on Saturday, and a breakdown on all those new weird stadium names with some words of wisdom from Keith Olbermann. SportsCenter, after football.
Rutgers now trailing Miami 27-0, and the Canes will start just inside their own 35-yard line with 8:24 to go. Miami protects its number 10 ranking and will go to 3-0. McMillan is back in at running back, and he'll get the call behind Joseph. Gang tackled up at the 38-39-yard line.
Dyro trying to work toward that 100-yard game. He's had 2 100-yard games in the first 2 ball games.
And one of the Rutgers defenders is down after the play. We have Major League Soccer action coming up for you on ESPN. The playoff-bound and Eastern Conference leaders Tampa Bay Mutiny will be taking on the DC United. Trail the Mutiny by only 5 points in the standings. That's Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. People do such a creative job of continuing to come up with nicknames. You wouldn't think they'd be able to find any good ones, but soccer's done a great job at it.
Tigers are gone, the Reds. I mean, you don't have those anymore.
Those have been gone for a long time.
You're probably a fan of that DC soccer team, right?
DC United, absolutely. Still checking on the number of the injured Rutgers player.
You know, when you have a team with so much talent, Dyro McMillan has to be a team guy, because all of a sudden you get 2 games where you have over 100 yards rushing. Then Danielle Ferguson comes back, and here's his statistics. He had 24 carries versus Memphis, 19 versus Citadel. Look at those averages, 5 and 8. Then tonight he only gets 8 carries, but he's a team guy. I mean, he knows Danielle Ferguson's back. He's going to be limited, cut down a little bit in his carries, and he just has to be a role player. There's Danielle Ferguson, 93 yards tonight in his first appearance.
The injured player was Thomas Kelly, helped off the field, able to walk off pretty much under his own power, and got a nice hand from the crowd because he has played an excellent football game tonight. Covington to throw, got this one out to Jermaine Chambers. Covered by Norris Crawford. It's a gain of 8.
Scott Covington is a good-looking quarterback. I mean, he's got it all. He's got the prototype pro quarterback. He's 6'2". Got a nice release. He's got good velocity on the football. He gets his head on the swivel. I've always liked him. I liked him when I watched practice down there last year. But he made a decision, and I like his decision to stay there with the Miami program.
First down for the Canes. McMillan spins out of a couple of tackles, crosses midfield to the Rutgers 49. Ansel George Shields was in on the stop, and tonight's overhead shots courtesy of the Goodyear blimp. Stars and Stripes all the way from Pompano Beach, Florida. And at the controls, Captain Larry Chambers, and he is out of Lighthouse Point, Florida. Thought we were going to have some problems with the weather, but the blimp has done pretty good tonight. Can only imagine what this field would look like if we had gotten the forecast we had yesterday of continuous rain for about 8 hours.
North 40. Pasture.
2nd and 6. Miami just working on the clock as we've gone under 7 minutes. Covington tries to dump it to McMillan and missed him. And McMillan lost his footing.
Well, looking at Miami's schedule, they've got a game against Pittsburgh, but of course this is the game everybody's going to be waiting for right here. And then Mike, that's #1 tough game. Now you never discount Pittsburgh or East Carolina. Here's another tough one for them. They've got to go up to Morgantown, which isn't the easiest place to play. Now they got Virginia Tech and Syracuse down the way, but I think their 2 toughest games will be right there.
And of course they've got 16 days off before they play again that game in Pittsburgh. 3rd and 6 for Covington and the Canes. Rutgers comes with a 4-man rush. Covington over the middle. That one's tipped and nearly intercepted. Intended for Benton, but he had about triple coverage on him that time. And the Rutgers defense holds as they have most of the night, quite honestly.
Yeah, they performed well, and we talked about recruiting, and Terry Shea, one of the first moves he made here at Rutgers was he hired a recruiting coordinator, one of his 9 coaches. So he does not coach. He's recruiting. He's like a pro personnel, and I think that's a good move.
And he can do it because he acts as his own offensive coordinator, so he doesn't need an extra staff member to do that. Holland lets the punt go once again inside the 20-yard line down there by Miami, and with 6:39 to go, the Canes in control. They're up 27-0. ESPN2 has the best in college football. Saturday at 12:30, the 15th-ranked Auburn Tigers head to Mississippi. Then at 6, Vanderbilt in a defensive battle with number 13 Alabama. At 9, the 24th-ranked Kansas Jayhawks travel to TCU. A lot of great college football games this early in the season.
Mike, I think ESPN2's got some good games now. That Kansas TCU game, Ole Miss and Auburn. I know people thought that Fresno would play Auburn a little bit better. I'll tell you what, they better watch about Ole Miss. We're going over there to Oxford. Ole Miss could bump them off.
And we will see Ole Miss against number 2-ranked Tennessee later in our Thursday night schedule when we get into October. Carried by Melvin Cobbs. He's up over the 20. There's a flag down on the play, one of the few flags we've seen tonight.
We've got a good ball game on Saturday night. Georgia and South Carolina. Georgia under Jim Donnan. Kind of a big ball game. Had lost the first game, which happens because you get the coaching changeover, and all of a sudden you get new people in there, just like Terry Shea tonight. And get against a good Southern Miss team, anything can happen. But a big game for him against South Carolina. Of course, South Carolina wants to keep it alive. They've won 1 against Central Florida. Need to, both coaching staffs probably circle this one for a win.
Yeah. When you lose your opener at Georgia, you better circle the next couple.
Illegal block. Against the offense. Replay, first down.
Let's go to Jerry Punch. Doctor?
You've been watching the initials all night on the back of the Miami Hurricanes helmets, the RW and the MB. Let me explain what that stands for. 2 teammates that are no longer with them. Robert Woodus, the RW, lost his life in the Value Jet crash. Of course, they certainly miss him, and this is in memory of him. And Marlon Barnes, the linebacker, brutally slain back in April of last year. Everyone remembers Marlon Barnes. What a player, what a force he was for this Miami team. That's why the initials are here. They may be gone, but not forgotten. Mike?
And Jerry, that is the Marlon Barnes incident, his tragic murder has been taken so hard by all of his teammates, but especially Earl Little, who says there is simply no joy in life for me anymore. It is very difficult for this young man just to go through his daily activities because he thinks so much about his friend Marlon Barnes. Everything he does reminds him of him.
And Mike, he wears a button of Marlon Barnes, his friend. He says, everywhere I go, he goes.
And you could just hear him say, Marlon Barnes. And he has dedicated the rest of his season to his late friend.
Earl Little's thinking about becoming a preacher.
2nd and 10. Saka back to throw. Throws out in the flat. That one complete to Marcus Luna. Let's go back to Jerry Punch. Doctor?
Hey, when Marlon Barnes came to Miami, a lot of the reporters asked him, said, how are you going to be able to hold up with the great tradition of linebackers, the Michael Barrow? He said, can you hold up to that tradition? And he says, I hope I can. Well, that's the motto on the T-shirts underneath all the linebackers' uniforms tonight. He says, I hope I can on the back, and on the front, Marlon Barnes' number. They're going to remember him for a long time in the Hurricane family.
And Jerry, with all the spotlight, and we've talked about the suspensions tonight, certainly this has been as close a knit group of players over the years as you could ever find in college football. They hang together.
Without a doubt.
3rd and 5 for Rutgers. Asaka trying to get something going on offense. That one incomplete. Allen Davis, the walk-on, got a hand on it but couldn't hold it.
There's a Big East race this year. When you look at Miami, I think right now the favorite is becoming West Virginia, because the way they've opened the season, of course, big win over Pittsburgh and then Western Michigan. Virginia Tech struggled a little bit with Akron. Lee Owens' Akron team played them very tough, but Virginia Tech is a loaded football team. Syracuse lost a tough ball game, but they're going to be back. Expectation level is really high there at Syracuse, but they've got a good football team, good coaching staff, and they'll be back.
Sloven the punt again, just got it out of there. He'll get the bounce, nearly touched the Miami player. Sloven has done a brilliant job tonight kicking the football. He's avoided a couple of blocks, made one great catch one-handed.
Tremaine Mack almost had another block.
Mack is a wizard on special teams. He's just got the knack for getting near the football.
How do you test the ultimate 4x4? Well, let's just say the ends of the earth is a great place to start. Introducing the new special edition Jeep Cherokee Classic.
I'll stop the world and melt with you. You've seen the difference and it's getting better all the time. I'll stop the world and melt with you.
The Scarlet Knights stood tall most of the night tonight before dropping behind 27-0 against the 10th ranked team in the nation. That Rutgers defense has played very, very well, held Miami to only 6 first-half points that came on a turnover. But the talent level and the determination of the Hurricanes have finally worn Rutgers down.
You know, when you look at this team tonight, defensively, I thought they played well enough early in the ball game to win or play close, and they had such great offense last year. Battaglia and the people that they had around him, the good running backs. If they could have put those two things together, they had a nice team.
Dyrell McMillan back in at tailback. Doesn't get much out of this one.
Rutgers, as we said, recruiting-wise, is going to be important for them now. They've got to own. They've got to be able to get in this state and get some players, and they're in the Big East. And you're looking at their schedule as we take a look at what they have the rest of the year. Of course, they've got a tough game coming up here. We talked about Virginia Tech. Back-to-back with Syracuse. They didn't handle Navy, so Army's same kind of team, be tough. Boston College on the road. And then they close with West Virginia and number 9 Notre Dame before they go to Pittsburgh to close the season. So they've got a really tough schedule.
That's a tough road. Certainly, I think the facility helps them an awful lot, Mike, after they were able to build this 42,000-seat stadium here and replace the aging facility that they had.
Well, the person who was most instrumental in getting the stadium built was Doug Graber. I mean,
yes,
he put a lot of effort into getting the stadium built. And Terry Shea said the other day, I thank Doug Graber for all he did here in building this program. He gave me a heck of a start here.
Of course, when Terry Shea came here, he was missing the top 2 running backs, the quarterback and All-American tight end Battaglia. So the cupboard was a little bare talent-wise.
Well, he lost 9 starters. There's 9 new starters on offense in the new offense. So the center, Jack McKiernan said we're like an expansion team on offense with the new system and 9 new starters.
Covington tried to get that one out to Chambers, knocked away by Wingate. Coming up on SportsCenter, Keith Olbermann and Bill Pito standing by. They'll catch you up on pennant race fever. Catch it. And USA against Canada. That's in the World Hockey Championships. And, of course, Chris on campus.
Your Baltimore Orioles are making a run, aren't they?
They are. They are making a great run. I think it's as much the Yankees helping them as much as they have played, but they are playing better late in the season. Holland fields the punt and pays for it in a big way. buried inside the 15, shoved back from where he took it at the 17-yard line. Miami, of course, has been the premier team in the Big East ever since the conference was formed in '91. They have gone 26-2. The only losses, Virginia Tech a year ago in West Virginia, at Morgantown, Syracuse, Virginia Tech, and West Virginia the next three. And those are really the four dominant programs in this conference. And they want some of the other teams to develop and come along to make this a much more competitive conference.
Yeah, and they're a league that's got to add some teams, too, I think, along the way. They've got to be able to expand a little bit.
Sackett takes over near his own 15-yard line. Gives it off to Melvin Cobb, the sophomore running back who has seen brief action tonight.
We're talking about Miami defensively last year. When you look at this Miami team and you talked about the dominance and losing 2 games, would you ever have thought that they gave up 256 yards rushing against UCLA? Virginia Tech got 300 yards rushing on them, and Florida State got 273. I mean, those are not the kind of numbers that they're used to. Here's 95 wins so far, 147 yards allowed. So their defensive front knows that they're going to be challenged this year.
And a very rare season for them. They're used to being in the top 10 in the nation in rushing defense, with all those great names that have come through for Miami, especially in the defensive line. Pass thrown downfield, picked off by Chris Gibson. He started 6 games a year ago in that great Hurricane secondary. The 4th turnover of the night for the Scarlet Knights.
Well, that's really why you see now why Mike Stevens started the game. Nothing against Ralph Saka. He's throwing against heavy coverage and so forth. But he's a little slow getting rid of the ball. And Mike Stevens, and again, he hasn't learned the offense quite yet. Terry Shea talked about him, said he's going to be a good quarterback for us. He just hasn't developed in our style of offense yet. He doesn't understand it totally. See him trying to explain to Terry Shea what he saw out there. And but Mike Stevens is a little bit more of a veteran, and that's why he's the starter.
And trying to learn the West Coast offense is like trying to learn physics, as Jones will get his first carry for Miami. It is a very involved offense and a very thick playbook.
You know, I don't like the West Coast offense labeled like that. We used to run that when I was at Pittsburgh, but I like it to be called the Bill Walsh offense because he's the one that really defined that offense and the all the techniques behind it. And you know, when you look at California, there's some great coaches. Sid Gilman, of course, used to coach out there, and he did a great job. Don Coryell, I mean, he was a great innovator on offense. Bill Walsh, of course. You just had so many great offensive coaches that coached out in that state.
That's Norris Crawford, who has had a big game for the Rutgers defense again tonight. Earlier, Thomas Kelly helped off the field, and these guys have played an awful lot of downs with Miami's offensive dominance, and they just have to be gassed at this point.
You watch Rod Sharpless on the sideline. He's still coaching because he knows, again, that some good things will come out of tonight. Dave Steckel, the defensive line coach. His brother's Les Steckel. Coaches in the pros for the Houston Oilers. Used to coach for the Denver Broncos, Minnesota Vikings.
He's the head coach at Minnesota.
Head coach in Minnesota. Dave, as a defensive line coach, was at Toledo last year in that fine program. Recruits the state of Pennsylvania, trying to get more players here to Rutgers. I was impressed with this coaching staff here at Rutgers. I think they're going to do a good job.
One of the first things they have to counter the perception that Rutgers has been at the bottom of the Big East. Graber got out of that somewhat by recruiting some good skilled people on offense.
Yeah, you really do. And you know, when you've lost and you're rebuilding again, you can do it. I mean, who would have believed Northwestern, Oregon, Kansas State, some of those schools? I mean, you can do it anywhere right now.
Let's go to Jerry Punch. Doctor?
Hey, you're talking about recruiting here. That's exactly what Mario Verduzco, their recruiting coordinator, told me prior to the game, guys. He said, you know, if we can just get kids here and overcome the perception of what we have, he said, Doug Graber, the guy before us, did a great job. The facilities here are second to none. The Hale Center, the new facility, new Rutgers Stadium. If we can just get kids in the stadium, we got a shot at them.
Jerry, you're absolutely right. It's getting them to make that visit that they really want to do. Covington throwing for the end zone, knocked out of the hands of Yatil Green. And excellent coverage again by Peter Clark, who came off the bench and has done a great job at the corner.
Really did. He played it very well. It's just you see Florida State and Miami over the years have thrown that ball in the corner to those tall receivers, 6'2" Yatil Green, but Peter Clark was up for the challenge.
2:12 to go in the game, 27-0 Miami.
Here's Peter Clark going up to knock the ball away from Yatil Green, just trying to throw it in the corner. Pretty well thrown by Scott Covington.
3rd and 10 for Covington. Benton Green still in there as the wide receivers, and this is Green wrapped up by Clark as he got near the 10-yard line. And may have another first down.
I think Yatil Green has come back tonight, and it gives Miami another threat besides Magic Benton on the outside. So give you 2 speed receivers with Magic Benton and he on the outside. You got Jermaine Chambers. We saw Tony Gator catch a touchdown pass. So they've got a wealth of wide receivers again in Miami.
Spot the ball just outside the 10. It is a first down for the Canes. Clock running, 1:51 to go in the game. Magic Benton over the 100-yard mark. 3 games in a row. Hadn't been done since Wesley Carroll in '89 in Miami. Now the officials ready to start play again on 1st and 10, just outside the 10-yard line. They could conceivably get another first down without scoring.
They're going to get a blitz here.
Trent Jones, the tailback, racked up the line of scrimmage.
Well, Magic Benton, without Yatil Green in the first 2 games, he was the main target against Memphis. For 9 catches, Citadel, he had 2 touchdowns, and tonight, averaging 15 yards a catch against this good defense of Rutgers. He had a little bit, as I said before, sat out spring practice to work on his grades, came back in the fall with a good attitude and has really worked hard.
He was the player that Ryan Clement questioned about his attitude, whether he was committed enough on or off the field, and he has shown that he is.
Well, you have summer practice, and the quarterback kind of runs summer practice because during the summer because coaches can't be out there. So he was running the practices, and Magic Benton wouldn't show up, so he questioned his work ethic and told him, so we've got to be better.
Benton had that one knocked away by Kevin Williams, who got a hand in on the post pattern.
You said earlier, named for a nightclub. Now, I've never heard many players named for a nightclub. And Magic here, ball thrown behind him a little bit. Good coverage by Kevin Williams.
There are a lot of nightclubs you wouldn't want to be named for.
And that one closed down.
I mean, Silver Slipper Gottfried really doesn't have a ring to it, does it?
No, it doesn't. Not even Magic.
3rd and 9. And there, the tailback, Trent Jones, bursts straight up the middle on 3rd and long and scores for the Hurricanes with 1:10 left.
Mike, when they scored that touchdown, again, I'll hope that the people that back Rutgers program take a good look at tonight. I mean, they're going to look at the score and say, same old team. But that's not true. Not true. And it just takes a while to build, and it takes a very positive attitude by your coaches. And they gave their coaches 2-year contracts because they want to keep them here. Continuity is very important in the staff.
Crossland, who has had an adventure as a place kicker tonight. And before he has a chance to try the extra point, we've got a timeout. 1:10 to go. 33-0 Canes.
Aerodynamic design. Ergonomic sophistication. And road tested by the world's long jump record holder. Introducing the Mike Powell XT by Fila. Now, who needs wheels?
This is it, where brand new Miller beer begins. Where the hops grow that give new Miller beer its flavor. Because new Miller beer is brewed a totally new way. Straight from the heart of the hops. For flavor unlike any other beer. Big flavor that goes down easy. We think so much of this new beer, we're just calling it who we are. Miller. Brand new Miller beer. Reach for what's out there.
Getting on top of your financial situation is tougher than ever. What you need is MetLife. We can help you get a grip on things and help you make sense of it all. Get Met. It pays.
Bulletproof is the #1 movie in America.
Rocket Archie Show!
4 stars. Hilarious.
I gotta learn how to fight. This is pathetic.
Damon Wayans, Adam Sandler. Bulletproof. Rated R. Now playing.
Northwest Airlines can make your dreams come true when you bid with your World Perks frequent flyer miles at our incredible Dream Perks auction at Sotheby's. Call for details today.
Some people just know how to fly.
33-0 Miami as we await the extra point. Andy Crossland had been perfect on point afters coming into this game, but he has missed 2 tonight. Trying to convert here with 1:10 left. Bad snap. He won't get a chance this time. And covered back at the 34-yard line by Covington, the holder.
Kicking game a little suspect tonight in the extra point and field goal range for Miami.
And on punt returns. Something they'll have 16 days to work on before their next game.
That's Chuck Pagano, the assistant who's in charge of some of the kicking game. There's a snap. It just, it was high, and Andy Crossland does the wise thing, covers it up with Scott Covington. Back to the touchdown. Have you ever seen a house move down the highway? Here's one right here on a trap block. Freeman Brown, who's 6'7", 344 pounds. Trent Jones just gets behind him, and nobody can find him because Freeman Brown is big.
Freeman had to find somebody to hit. He had to run a long way to find a block.
Well, there's a lot of people saw him coming and just got out of the way.
Good idea. Miami, after a very slow start on the ground with 165 yards rushing. And they have won 52 straight when they've rushed for more than 150 yards. The last time that didn't happen over 150 was 9 years ago against Penn State.
Came away with a win tonight, but I'm sure Butch Davis knows they weren't crisp. May have been a short week. Played last Saturday, only had a couple days to prepare for Rutgers. Of course, Rutgers is in the same situation, but that may have caused some of the sluggish start by Miami.
This turns out to be the first shutout they've had on the road in a long, long time. 1958 was it when they shut out Pittsburgh? They're winning tonight 33-0. Or 1967, it was 58-0, pardon me. And Rutgers, with 1 minute to go in the game, will take over again near its own 40-yard line.
Well, you're going to ride the tram tomorrow there at the Newark Airport, and you're heading home, and I'm going to Columbia, South Carolina for the Georgia game.
I'll be watching.
Should be an exciting ball game. Terry Shea goes back to planning again. He has a plan, and the other thing that you have to do when you go into a rebuilding situation, you go in with a plan in every area, and you have to stick to it. And time's going to get tough. Every now and then it's a roller coaster ride, but if you stick to your plan, you'll eventually win.
And he has had success where he has coached before at San Jose State as a head coach, so you know that he has the basics to build a winning program because he's done it before.
Oh, he really does. I think they're in good shape here at Rutgers, and some of the fans are booing as they run the football. They may be getting ready for the Giants and Jets game this weekend.
Yeah. They don't have to tune up too much for those.
It's right down the road. Just go to the stadium and bring your booze with you.
Sports Center coming up immediately following our telecast. 26 seconds left in this one.
Fans forget quick and don't give you much of a chance.
Well, if they're true college football fans and this is their school, they should be very proud of what they accomplished tonight, especially in the first half when they played Miami off its feet.
Agree wholeheartedly.
The clock ticks down. Butch Davis will leave here with a 33-0 victory and take his record to 3-0. Once again, our final score, Miami 33, Rutgers nothing. For Mike Gottfried and Dr. Jerry Punch and our entire crew, I'm Mike Patrick. You're watching ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. SportsCenter is next.